evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Labatt Memorial Park for a rare Wednesday night contest between the visiting Welland Jackfish and the London Majors. We're glad to finally be with you once again here from Labatt Park as the Majors have dealt with some rainouts over the past couple of games, and we'll get to that in just a little bit, but it's great to have you along with us on this beautiful evening for baseball as we welcome you inside the Game Day London broadcast booth. My name is Dylan Baker. Alongside me, Noah Smith. And Noah, the Majors, they have not played much baseball over the last little bit.
Yeah, Dylan, we were making some jokes over the last couple weeks how that May weather that we normally get where we don't play a whole lot of baseball in the month of May, well, it finally hit us here in mid-July, and we're starting to get some of those rainouts that we would actually normally get earlier in the year. The Majors, they weren't able to get a couple of games in last week, one of those being the one that we're going to get underway here shortly from Labatt Park against the Welland Jackfish. And for the London Majors, you take that with a grain of salt because it helps you a little bit in terms of you not being as busy on those weekends. But now you're just going to be busy on a separate weekend. So the line moves along here, and the London Majors have what is now a 4-game week, barring any weather this week.
Well, last Saturday, the Majors did get a chance to play despite a weather delay in Barrie, and it was a controversial finish to that game as there were some questions about the 3-batter minimum in that contest.
Yeah, there was, and to be honest with you, we went throughout the course of the week still without what is a solid answer, Dylan, and the league, from what we understand, still investigating that as well to make sure that they have it in stone so that that does not happen again in the future.
Yeah, I talked to Majors manager Roop Chanadette before the game. He said he hasn't heard anything. They're still investigating the situation, and that process is ongoing. As we've talked about, the Majors have not played much over the last little bit, and that has allowed a certain familiar face for the Majors to get healthy and re-sign to rejoin the Majors.
Yeah, Dylan, it has, and Eduardo Deolio will be back in the lineup tonight for the London Majors, and he's going to be back in a familiar position as well. He will be behind the plate, and he will be catching. That creates an interesting situation for Majors manager Roop Chanadette. What does he do with Ruiz? Where does he put him, Dylan?
Well, Chris Ruiz is the starting third baseman in today's contest. He's done the bulk of the catching ever since Eduardo Deolio has been sidelined with what we're told is a hamstring injury. He's back now, so Chris Ruiz moves over to third base. And Noah, Roop Chanadette has told us, the Majors manager has told us that he has been looking for more production from the third base spot throughout the season. He's hoping that he's got that now as the catcher Ruiz slides over to third.
Yeah, Dylan, it's been the only big hole for the Majors, a lot of people would say, throughout the course of this season. There's obviously areas the Majors wish to improve throughout their lineup, but the third base spot has primarily been that spot all year long. And Roop Chanadette, hoping that he's found something here. With Deolio back in the lineup, he can now move Ruiz over to third base. And to be honest with you, we'll see if it sticks, right? It might take a game. It might take even through this weekend to see if that's how the Majors could possibly roll as we get into late July and now into August, and really the playoffs still just around the corner.
One thing to note, both of those guys, Deolio and Ruiz, count as an import slot on the Majors roster, so what Majors manager Roop Chanadette elects to do will be really interesting to follow. You see the Majors run out onto the field with the U11 select Dorchester Diamondbacks. They are joining the Majors on the field for the starting lineup here today. It's a lineup that's very similar to the ones that we would see at the beginning of the season. No Miles Miller in the lineup today. No Josh Williams in the lineup today. So it's kind of a flashback to what we saw at the beginning of the year. And down the stretch, the offense started to see a little bit more success. So Roop Chanadette hoping that he can find some more of that here tonight.
Yeah, Dylan, we hear talk, it seems like every single week that we've had where the Majors have put together a couple of wins or put together a couple of good games, that maybe they're turning the corner. And to be honest with you, they're still looking to do that. It's going to take a lot to climb the standings here in the IBL in the second half of the standings. There are a lot of good teams in those 1 through 4, 1 through 5 spots in the IBL. The Majors currently sitting in 6th, and we'll get to the standings talk as the night moves along. But they're going to have to start putting together more 3-win weekends if they want to come away with that. This one's a big one. Tuesday, they get a few days off before they move into a 3-3 this weekend.
It's going to be a busy time for the London Majors as you see the man taking the mound today. Edison Gonzalez will have his first pitch and all the action on MajorsTV after this.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E
with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Back here at Labatt Park after the national anthem as Edison Gonzalez takes the hill for the London Majors. Gonzalez, a native of Agua Dulce, Panama, making start number 7 on the year. Noah, a guy who has fared better in his more recent outings.
Yeah, Dylan, he didn't get off to the best start so far this season, but over the last couple outings for him, a lot better. The most recent one, Dylan, 5 innings in a 2-1 win against the Kitchener Panthers, 0 earned runs. So we're starting to see him kind of turn around and get a little bit more comfortable here in the IBL.
Well, speaking of comfort, Gonzalez did leave his last start with a little bit of discomfort in his throwing arm, which is why he only went 5 innings in a game in which he was pitching a stellar contest. No hits allowed through 5 innings, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts against the Kitchener Panthers in that contest all the way back on July 7th. The rainouts have kind of allowed him to gain a little bit of extra rest because you figured he might have been called upon in that last week the Majors were supposed to have with a game on Tuesday, a game on Friday, and a game on Saturday, following what was a 3-3 on the weekend. But Gonzalez had a little bit extra time to recover, and the Majors are hoping that he is back at full strength here tonight.
Yeah, Dylan, they certainly are, and he's going to get the start here tonight. The Majors, as we mentioned, have a busy weekend, so they're going to hopefully keep as many guys well-rested as they can. And I don't think it's become official yet, Dylan, but we're getting word that the canceled game against the Hamilton Cardinals might come sooner than we think, which could cause even more problems with the Majors rotation going into this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a factor for sure. We're hearing that there are different dates being thrown out there right now for that makeup game, but it sounds like it's coming next week.
Yeah, it could come as early as next week.
Right. So if that is the case, if that does come to fruition, that changes a lot of things for the Majors because all of a sudden you've got to start playing with the thought that that game might be happening soon, and you got to manage your pitching staff that way.
Yeah, you get these rainouts, and especially the ones that come on weekends, Dylan. The only makeup dates usually available in the Intercounty Baseball League now move to weekdays, and that's likely what we're going to see with that Hamilton game as Mateo Portolato steps in, and we are just about ready to get going here on this Wednesday night.
First pitch from Edison Gonzalez in there on the outside corner for strike 1. It'll be Portolato followed by Gio Morello and Carlos Martinez. Gonzalez into the windup. Here's the 0-1 home. That one misses. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good miss there in a good location. For Gonzalez, moves the count to 1-1.
Portolato in left field today as that one's off the plate. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's a pretty stale night at the ballpark, Dylan. 25 degrees. There's not a whole lot of breeze down there on field level when we were down there for some of the warm-ups.
Here's the 2-1. That's off the plate as well. 3 balls and 1 strike. Not any wind right now if you look at the flags here at Labatt Park. Nothing going on in terms of wind at the moment as a little breeze picks up just as I say that, as it so often does.
We always tend to get it up here in the broadcast booth at time to time.
Yeah.
But when we were down there, even prior to first pitch, there didn't seem to be any.
That one hit hard on the ground and through the hole between shortstop and third base. So Mateo Porcelato will lead off the ball game with a single.
Great piece of hitting there. Fell behind the count 0-1 to begin the ball game. Obviously just taking some pitches to see them early on. 3 straight wide ones outside the zone, and then the next one that he throws across. Porcelato's waiting, and he's aboard with a leadoff single.
So it'll be Gio Morello to step into the batter's box now for the Welland Jackfish, the former Brantford Red Sox. Morello batting .256 on the year. He is patrolling center field today. Bit of a sparser crowd on a Wednesday night. Fans aren't quite used to their majors playing on a Wednesday. So some of the comments from the crowd are magnified in this one as Morello squares around to bunt, gets that one down, but it's foul. Chris Ruiz nearly tested in his first inning.
Probably a pretty normal bunt situation there for the Jackfish. They love to play small ball, one of the better hitting teams, if not the best hitting team in the Intercounty Baseball League this season. And they know the new third baseman over there, Dylan. They're not going to be afraid to test him early.
Ruiz playing at the cut of the grass as Gonzalez peeks back at first to check on Porcelato. Sets out there on the rubber and comes home. Porcelato running. Morello swings and misses. The throw from Deolio, tag from Candel, and they got him. Eduardo Deolio hasn't missed a beat in his return behind the plate. He throws out the first base runner trying to steal.
Fantastic throw from Deolio. The only thing he did wrong on that was throw it to the wrong side of the base, but fortunately for him, he got it there in enough time that Candel was able to get the tag over and in time for that big first out. Erases that leadoff single.
The 0-2 is hammered to center field. Drew Lawrence going all the way back to the wall. It skips up against the fence. Lawrence throws that one in as Morello rounds second base, and he'll stay there. It's a long double to the deepest part of the ballpark for Gio Morello, and the Jackfish have a runner in scoring position.
It'll hurt just a little bit for the Jackfish after the runner being thrown out. Would have erased what would be a 1-0 lead, but they'll take the double anyway. Still puts them in a good spot here with one gone here in the top half of the first inning. That ball was ripped out to center field. Lawrence, who wasn't playing overly short, and had to make a long run back, and that one probably landed about 380, if not further, from home plate.
So Carlos Martinez steps into the batter's box. Martinez, recently acquired by the Welland Jackfish, has been splitting the duties behind the plate with Sam Cocker, who is in the lineup for Welland, batting fifth and DHing today as the first pitch drops in from Gonzalez for strike one.
Yeah, no breaks early on in this lineup for the Welland Jackfish, Dylan. The bats just keep on coming, which makes things tough after that one-out double. Got to get to work and got to be precise on those pitches.
Martinez 4 for 10 in his stint with Welland so far. Here's the offering, fouls that one off, and it's 0-2.
Jackfish early on batting .314 as a team so far this season. Just hitting the cover off the ball.
They have certainly been an offensive threat in all the games they've played this year. As Gonzalez looks in for the sign from Deolio, Morello takes his lead off of second base. A peek back to second. Here's the pitch on the move is Morello. That one skips in to Deolio, and so Gio Morello will steal third base, and the Jackfish have a base runner 90 feet away from scoring.
Yeah, that was a big jump out there at second base. I don't know if that ball would have had enough time to get to home plate and Deolio get a throw off to third, even if it didn't bounce, Dylan.
Yeah, I don't think Deolio would have really had a shot there to throw out Morello. He just got such a great jump, as you touched on. So now he's at third with one out. Gonzalez ahead in the count against Martinez, 1-2. Comes set out there on the rubber. Takes a breath and comes home. The 1-2 offering, that's outside, skips away from Deolio. and that will allow Morello to come in to score. So the Welland Jackfish have the first run of the ball game, thanks to a wild pitch from Edison Gonzalez.
Able to produce some runs here in the top of the first inning are the Jackfish, the double, and then stolen base followed by the wild pitch. Brings our first run in to score here.
So Martinez ready in the batter's box. 1 run home already in the inning for the Jackfish. He hits that one on the ground at third base. Ruiz plays that on the backhand. A strong throw over to Kane McGee at first, and there's 2 away now in the top of the first inning.
Well, the nice thing about having a catcher over there at third base, Dylan, is that you know his arm's strong enough to make that throw. It's just going to be making sure that it's on the money and that he picks it up cleanly as well. Fantastic job by Ruiz over there to time that one up. Knew he had a little bit of time to get it over to first base, and he does for the second out.
First inning at third base this season, and he gets tested in that inning because that's the way baseball works. As James Smybert steps into the batter's box, batting .394 on the season as he fouls that one off. It's 0-1.
Yeah, one of the leaders here for the Jackfish in the early going.
Rousing applause for the ball boy as he ran out to catch that foul ball. 0-1 pitch, Smybert chases high, and it's 0-2.
Climbs the ladder there with the fastball, got him to chase. It's the one thing about this Jackfish ball club that I love. They are aggressive at the plate. They're not afraid to swing early and often.
The 0-2, swing and a miss from Smybert, strike 3. So Edison Gonzalez gets a caught stealing, but then a run still comes across to score as Gio Morello comes home on a wild pitch, and the Jackfish lead 1-0 after the top of the first.
That's a good top of the first inning there for the Jackfish. They put the bats to good use. The Majors able to escape really with just the 1 run coming across. The throw out by DeOlio behind the plate at the runner's second really saved them a little bit there, but they'll take it heading to the bottom of the first inning and get set to face off against Jake Harford here to begin their Wednesday afternoon contest.
Jake Harford will see a Majors lineup that sort of resembles the one that we saw at the beginning of this season, as it's Drew Lawrence, Tommy Reyes Cruz, Eduardo DeOlio, followed by Starling Joseph, Byron Reichstein, and Cleveland Brownlee batting 6th. And that's where things are different. Let's round out the lineup first before we talk about that. Kane McGee, Chris Ruiz, Keith Gandel, 7, 8, and 9 in the Majors order. But Cleveland Brownlee batting 6th for London here behind DeOlio, Joseph, and Reichstein.
Yeah, I really like the way that Rup Chairdat has constructed this lineup. You put Cleveland down the order a little bit, but that's all right because you've got some good bats through the middle there. DeOlio, in his return to the lineup, he fits right into that 3 spot. And the Majors hoping that they can get some of that power bat that they've had to start the season with DeOlio.
Yeah, DeOlio started the year really, really hot. I believe he won Player of the Week either first or second week of the season, just with the way he began the year. Was in a bit of a tough stretch there before his injury sidelined him for a few weeks. I think he was struggling in his last 4 or 5 games going into that contest where he got injured and didn't play on Father's Day here at Labatt Park. So the Majors hoping that DeOlio can regain his offensive form that they saw at the beginning of the season.
Dylan, one of the stats that was brought to my attention coming into the ballgame from Todd Devlin at Game Day London, the strikeout numbers for the London Majors have been high over the last 3 games, 16 of them in total in the loss to Barrie. And over the last 3 games, Dylan, it has been just 6 walks for the London Majors. So they haven't been getting a whole lot of balls in play, and they haven't been getting a whole lot of guys on base. They're going to need to try and change that here down the stretch and really in tonight's contest as well.
They will look to do that against Silver Creek, New York native Jake Harford, who delivers his first pitch to Drew Lawrence, and it's in there for a strike, 0-1. Harford making his 8th start of the season for the Jackfish. Into the windup, the 0-1 home. Lawrence fouls that one off quickly behind 0-2.
Harford, the big righty, will throw lots of strikes. He is a strike thrower. Will prioritize that fastball early on. 2-2 record so far. The air race sitting just a hair over 4 in 7 starts this season.
The 0-2 on its way from Harford. Lawrence gets a piece of that one, able to stay alive as he fouls it back to the screen, and will do it again on 0-2.
Harford, a guy, Dylan, that we've seen over the last few years who's not afraid to attack with the fastball, use it in strikeout counts. In the past few years, he only really went to the off-speed, maybe second time through the order.
Lawrence lines that one hard to second base, but right there to make the grab is Tyler Dupuis, and there's one gone here in the first.
Good two-strike approach there from Lawrence hitting it the other way, but right at the second baseman. And a nice, easy first out there for Harford on the mound.
So now he'll have to deal with Tommy Reyes-Cruz for the Majors. Reyes-Cruz on the year batting .267. Reyes-Cruz has kind of bounced around the Majors lineup. He's been near the top, he's been near the bottom. First pitch from Harford, Reyes-Cruz takes that low for ball one.
One of those guys I still think here in the middle going of this season that Roop Janardet's trying to find a place for in the lineup. Likes having him there, doesn't know if it's the top of the order or maybe in the middle to bottom of the order kind of stuff.
That one off the plate outside. With Miles Miller and Drew Lawrence in the lineup, we've kind of seen Reyes-Cruz hit towards the bottom, so maybe that's the kind of spot Roop Janadat envisions for him with the ability to fill in at the top when he's needed, like tonight. Reyes-Cruz skies that one into foul territory. It will get out of play, and it's 2-1.
Well, it's no secret that Roop Janadat kind of likes to start off, if he can, if the lineup that he has the ability to do it, with kind of speed guys 1 and 2, or guys that can put the ball in play and get aboard 1 and 2 before he starts getting into those power guys.
That one inside to Reyes-Cruz. Missed there by Martinez, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike to the Majors' second baseman.
One exception to that over the years we've seen, we did see a fair amount of Byron Reichstein hitting in the 2-hole, but that's kind of one of those exceptions. That was when he was on a tear as well. He was getting on base and hitting for power.
The ball 4 chance rained down as a 3-1 gets delivered from Harford to Reyes-Cruz. That's off the plate outside, and the fans get their wish as Reyes-Cruz is issued a free pass.
Well, we talked about how the Majors need to get aboard and walk a little bit more here, and they've got one already here to begin the ball game with 1 out in the bottom of the first. Reyes-Cruz aboard, and now the return of Eduardo De Olio here at Labatt Park.
So De Olio steps into the batter's box for the first time since before Father's Day. I believe the Majors were at home on that Friday night, and that would be the last time these fans had a chance to see him in game action. First pitch from Harford, De Olio comes up empty on the swing. It's 0-1. The 0-1 is popped foul there by De Olio, and it's 0-2.
De Olio now well behind in the count, 0-2. Harford, when he got ahead on Drew Lawrence, attacked with the fastball. We'll see if he has a similar approach against the power bat of De Olio.
Here's the 0-2 home. De Olio in the air. Shallow right field, giving chase are Brown and Moretto out there. And did he make the catch? Looked like Tyler Dupuis made a nice grab to record the second out.
It was a long run to go and get that one all the way over what ended up being in foul territory for a big second out. De Olio retired on what looked like a fastball up in the zone on 0-2.
Moretto, Dupuis, and Brown were all after that baseball into foul territory, as you mentioned, Noah. Great grab by Jackfish second baseman Tyler Dupuis. So Starling Joseph steps into the batter's box, batting in the cleanup spot today for the Majors, hitting .276 on the season. Reyes-Cruz, not an overly big lead off of first base. The first pitch to Joseph is up and in for ball 1.
Joseph a chance here with runner aboard to try and keep this inning going. Reyes-Cruz enough speed that if he can find one into the gap, a chance to score him, but the Majors not looking at that right now as the count moves to 1-1.
Joseph comes up empty on a big swing there. Looks down at third base coach Brent Wales for the signs. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning. Offering on its way from Harford. That one chopped foul by Joseph. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Harford now a pitch away from working through this inning. Just the one walk so far has brought the runner aboard for the Majors.
Harford Ready's out there on the mound. Reyes Cruz takes his lead. Pitch to Joseph on its way is skied on the infield. Moving in is Smybert, the shortstop. He's got it, and he will make the grab to retire the side. The Majors get a base runner on a walk from Tommy Reyes Cruz, but they leave him stranded. The Jackfish lead 1-0 after 1.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic. Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back inside beautiful Labatt Memorial Park here on MajorsTV, coverage of the Intercounty Baseball League. The Welland Jackfish and London Majors. We head to the top of the second inning, and it's the Jackfish holding an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it was a good job by the Jackfish, able to manufacture some runs in that inning. They tried to get things going on the base paths as Porcelato attempted to steal second base on what looked to be a hit and run. Morello taking a big hack at a pitch that he came up empty on, but then Porcelato was thrown out. Morello got on board and did not waste his opportunity after the long double to center field.
A run on 2 hits for the Jackfish in the first inning. Have them up by a score of 1-0 as we move to the top half of inning number 2. Edison Gonzalez hoping for a cleaner second frame as he works through now the middle to bottom half of the Jackfish order.
2 innings in a row now. Not that it really means much as we saw in the first inning, but 2 innings in a row where the throw down to second base after warm-ups has been thrown into center field by Eduardo De Olio. The first one was the fault of the middle infielders. They couldn't see the ball in the sun. That one he airmailed, but he did throw a guy out in the top of the first inning. So clearly the arm is in okay shape for De Olio behind the plate. Edison Gonzalez will have to face Sam Cocker, Steve Moretto, and Hogan Brown. That pitch is off the plate outside for ball 1. Here's the pitch, cut on and missed, 1-1.
Gonzalez works at a pretty good pace throughout the course of the ball game here, and already doing that early on in this start. Gets the ball back, settles himself, and he's ready to go within probably 5 or 6 seconds of getting that ball back.
Here's the 1-1 home. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Fastball again there on 1-2. When he missed in the first inning, a lot of times it was with the off-speed pitch and off the plate. We'll see what they go with here on 1-2.
1-2 home inside to Cocker, and that's 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gonzalez. Into the windup, rocks the Majors righty. Here's the pitch. Cocker fouls that one off, and we'll try it again on 2-2.
Middle of the Jackfish order here to start the top of the second inning. We talked about the prowess on the bats for Welland this year. Continues through this middle part of the order.
2-2 on its way. That one in the dirt, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Gonzalez here. I think you got to come right at him on 3-2. Jackfish can hit. It's easy to try and work around that throughout the course of the ball game, but the walks, they do almost as much damage as a base hit does.
Here's the pitch. Cut on and missed from Cocker. Gonzalez reached back for a little something extra and got the Jackfish DH to go down swinging.
Yeah, came with that fastball, went up and got him swinging. And there's one down to begin the top of the second inning.
So Steve Moretto will step into the batter's box now for the Welland Jackfish. Moretto, the first baseman in the ball game today. Batting 6th in this Jackfish lineup. First pitch to Moretto, misses high for ball one. Moretto will be followed by Hogan Brown. 1-0 on its way from Gonzalez. Swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Moretto hitting .279 in the season so far for the Jackfish. Respectable number for him, looking to try and get aboard here with 1 gone in the inning.
Here's the 1-1 home from Gonzalez. Swing and a miss, 1-2. That one was so hard, DeOlio's mask fell off trying to catch it.
A lot of success in the early going here for Gonzalez with that fastball when he's able to get it enough up in the zone. We'll see if he continues on with that trend here, if DeOlio picks up on it as this game progresses.
1-2 on its way. That one is high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Gonzalez from the windup, the pitch. That's up and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes now.
Went to a full count on the first batter of the inning as well. Was able to get the strikeout, but you don't want to make a habit of it. He's done it twice already here in this inning. Forces you to throw a lot of pitches, even if you are getting the outs.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Gonzalez. That one is going to miss for ball 4. Moretto reaches base on a full count walk, and the Jackfish have a 1-out base runner yet again.
Second straight inning, the Jackfish have had a runner on with just 1 gone. That one is their first walk of the ball game.
Gonzalez has done a much better job recently of limiting those, and that's been a key part of his success out there on the mound. When he's not walking guys, he's able to record outs at a more frequent rate. He's filling up the strike zone, keeping his pitch count down, which allows him to pitch longer into ball games, as the first pitch to Hogan Brown misses for ball 1. But Gonzalez this year, 23 strikeouts, 12 walks, and a lot of those 12 walks came within his first 3 starts as a major. He walked 2 in 2/3 of an inning against Hamilton out of the bullpen. Then he walked 6 against Barrie in 7 innings, followed by just 1 against the Jackfish in his last start against Welland, as that one misses as well, 2-0. And then he walked 2 against the Guelph Royals before he took some time off, gathered himself, and then returned to the Majors rotation, and he's been stellar ever since.
He's falling behind 2-0 again here. Working from the stretch now with the runner aboard at first.
Here's the pitch from Gonzalez. That's there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Brown. Brown in right field today. Hitting for a very high average this season, 348 in 92 at-bats, as Gonzalez peeks back at first. And Reddy's out there on the rubber. Here's the pitch on its way. That one is fought off down the left field line. It's going to roll as Joseph scoops it up around second. Heading to third is Moretto, and he will reach safely on what is a 1-out double for Hogan Brown.
Well, a great piece of hitting there. You can see why he's hitting with the average that he has throughout the course of this season. And Hogan Brown is aboard with his 11th double of the year.
11th double of the year. That's impressive so far this season for the Jackfish right fielder. So 2 runners in scoring position, 1 away, as Ethan Hunt steps into the batter's box.
Leads the Jackfish in that category.
He's got to be up there on the league leaderboard as well.
You would think as well, yep.
So the corners are in. That's Chris Ruiz and Kane McGee. The middle infield is still back. And I say the corners are in. They're not that far in. They're just shallower than they'd usually play. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Ethan Hunt for strike 1.
They're playing even with the bag. At least Ruiz is at third. McGee slightly in over at first base. And what it does is it allows you, if you can pick one up quickly, give a look over to third, see what the runners are doing, and then make a decision on where you're going to go with the ball. Likely across the infield, but you wait and see what the Jackfish do on the bases.
That one is up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. That'll score one, maybe two. Moretto in around third, and coming in to score is Hogan Brown on a one-out, two-run single for Ethan Hunt.
Sounds like he might have broke the bat on that swing, but he'll exchange it for 2 runs batted in, and the Jackfish open up a 3-0 lead here in the top of the second on a good piece of hitting.
So 3-0 Welland here in the top of the second. As Tyler Dupuis steps into the batter's box. Dupuis, the second baseman for the Jackfish. First pitch misses there for ball one.
Dupuis getting a lot of playing time in the early going here for the Jackfish. 22 games already under his belt. Average sitting at .239 coming into play today. Watch the lead over here at first.
Faking a break from first base as Dupuis crushes one, but well foul, and it's 1-1.
Got a hold of that one, but he was well out in front of it.
One ball, one strike, one out. Gonzalez will step off and reset here. Here's the 1-1 home. Dupuis on the ground at third base. Ruiz goes to second for one. Reyes Cruz on to first. A nice double play turned there by the Majors to get out of the top of the second inning. 5-4-3, and the Jackfish strand one.
There's a fake steal going on over at first base, and because of that, almost had to start up from a fresh start at first base. Allows the Majors to turn the double play. If he went, he would have negated that, but the Majors will take it. A double play gets them out of the top of the second inning, but the Jackfish score a couple and now have a 3-0 lead as we make our way towards the bottom half of the second inning.
Gonzalez has walked just the one batter, as we've touched on already, but there's been more frequent contact than we saw last time he was out there on the rubber, and quality of contact as well for the Majors righty. He'll look to iron that out as we give you a look at the Intercounty Baseball League standings this season. Just one game in the IBL today, and that is this one, so not too many implications tonight, but you'll see it's still a little jam near the top of the Jackfish, starting to gain some distance on second place Barrie.
Yeah, the Jackfish now out in front, 3.5 games up on the Barrie Bay Cats, as well as the Kitchener Panthers, who are in that third place spot. Hamilton not far behind them. Toronto in that number 5 spot as well, and that's where things kind of drop a little bit there with the Majors, Royals, and Red Sox rounding out the standings so far this season. But it seems like this year in the IBL, all teams kind of playing each other a little bit more evenly than we've seen in years past. Of course, the Red Sox now with 4 wins, which is more than we've seen them have in the recent years, but they've been in a lot more ball games as well, and that's the same thing with the Majors, Royals in those 6, 7, and 8 spots.
They sure have been. One thing to notice before we pull the standings from the screen, the Majors have played far fewer games than their IBL counterparts. 21 for the Majors. The next lowest total is Guelph and Barrie at 25. That's still a 4-game gap, so the Majors have some games to make up, and it's important that they win those ball games in order to keep climbing in the standings. Jake Harford into the windup with Byron Reichstein in the batter's box. That one is off the plate outside for ball one.
You can look at the standings and kind of start to piece together where things might finish, but to be honest with you, throughout the middle of the lineup, there's a whole lot going on.
Reichstein sends that one in the air to pretty deep center field. Morello working his way back, and near the warning track, he's able to reel that one in for the first out.
Reichstein was able to give that one right out to center, but there's a whole lot of space out here in Labatt Park and center field and the outfield in general. And a whole lot of room to roam and get that one. Cleveland Brownlee will come to the plate now.
That Byron Reichstein fly ball is a home run in probably 6 of 8, maybe 5 of 8 IBL ballparks. It stays here, stays in here, probably stays in Welland as well.
In Welland.
That's what I was thinking with the 6 of 8. Maybe one more that I'm forgetting. It stays in the ballpark, but a lot of them.
Yeah, it might stay in Barrie, but it would be close.
Byron gave that one a ride, just couldn't quite get it out of here as Jake Harford's first pitch to Cleveland Brownlee is well off the plate outside.
Brantford, Kitchener, Guelph, those are all gone.
Toronto
as well. Can't quite remember off the top of my head the dimensions out in center in Hamilton.
That's an interesting one.
Would have been a ride for sure.
1-0 is in there for a strike. Brownlee doesn't like the call from home plate umpire Jeff Rose. He thought it was low.
Yeah, he's upset with it. I'm not sure if he thought that he might have got called on the pitch or the kind of check swing there. Cleve doesn't like it either way, but he's got to come back with a 1-1 count.
Harford into the windup. Here's the 1-1 home. Brownlee gets a piece of that one out towards shortstop. Smybert throws on to Moretto, and there's 2 away now in the bottom of the second.
2 quick outs after the fly out, and then the ground out to Cleveland Brownlee here. And Harford's got himself an early lead, and he's continuing rolling on here against this London Majors lineup.
Kane McGee into the batter's box now with 2 away to face Jake Harford. Into the windup goes the Jackfish right-hander. He delivers. McGee fights that one off. Foul ball. 0-1. One on its way from Harford here. McGee takes that one up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big left-handed hitter.
Harford maintaining his composure early on. When he has those misses outside of the zone, he usually brings it right back.
Didn't that time, as that one misses in a nearly identical spot. It's 2-1.
Yeah, it missed in, as you said, almost an identical spot. And you could actually see Martinez there kind of just pointing at him, say, hey, all right, here we go. Let's get back on track here on 2-1.
2-1 on its way. Here's the pitch. Inside to McGee. 3 balls and 1 strike as we see some action in the Majors bullpen here. Skylar Janice is throwing.
I don't know if that's a matter of wanting to get Gonzalez out of the game early here, or if trying to play into what the schedule is like going into this weekend as well. As a walk here for McGee, we'll put a runner aboard with 2 outs.
Harford issues a free pass and exchanges baseballs with the home plate umpire, trying to get a better grip on the one that is coming his way right now. As the Majors have their second free pass of the ball game, still yet to record a hit on the night as Chris Ruiz digs into the batter's box.
Couple of walks for the Majors, as you mentioned, so far this evening. Still looking for that first hit as Chris Ruiz will step to the plate here. Couple of good swings the Majors have just missed in the early going.
That one in there for a strike. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike as McGee steps off the bag at first. Pitch from Harford is popped up, foul territory. Martinez gives it a look. Is it going to hit us over top here? No.
No, it must have hit the netting.
We were ready for it, though.
You always got to be on your game.
Never know when you're going to have to jump and try to avoid letting that be heard on the broadcast. I've had lots of experience with that.
Yeah, let's be clear. We're not in any danger of actually getting hit up here. It's just a matter of it scaring the lights out of us.
That one misses to Chris Ruiz. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Caden McGee over at first base. 2 away in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the pitch. That one to Ruiz misses high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Upstairs with the fastball again there for Harford. Couldn't get the swing and miss. If they're going to stick with the fastball here, which they might, I want to see if they'll switch locations, maybe move it in or out.
Here's the pitch. That one is upstairs again. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Chris Ruiz.
On the Jackfish infield now, communicating with one another. 3-2 with 2 outs will give Hayden McGee at first base a head start. And the infield going to have to go across to one here on a ground ball. Here's the 3-2.
McGee is on the move. Here's the pitch to Ruiz, called strike 3. So the Majors' third baseman goes down looking, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the second inning. Majors strand another base runner, still hitless as we head to the third.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Park as Skylar Janice takes over on the mound for the London Majors. Edison Gonzalez, night, Noah, done after just 2 innings.
Yeah, night complete for Edison Gonzalez for the Majors, and we'll try to get word on exactly why the Majors might just be looking for a little bit of a different look here after the Jackfish put up 1 run in the top of the first 2 runs in the top of the second on 4 hits for them here today. Skylar Janice will come into the ball game, has appeared in 8 games for the London Majors, 11 2/3 inning pitch. Has struck out 14 batters. The walk number a little bit high, though, for him here, Dylan, with 8 so far this season. He last worked on July the 2nd, so it has been a little while here for Skylar Janice.
Well, what's interesting about Skylar Janice is he was supposed to work on Saturday in Barrie. He was the one coming in for Anthony Benitez when the 3-batter rule controversy happened in Barrie, and so he did not get to work. Of course, the winning run was then wild pitched in by Benitez after Janice was removed from the ball game, and we mentioned in the pregame show that the discussions around that are still ongoing. But Janice gets to work in a ball game here now in the top of the third.
Yeah, he'll get to work, and we'll wait and see exactly what the plan is for the Majors this evening, but I would imagine coming in the top of the third, Dylan, he's going to be tasked with a few innings here, at least today, if he can get the Majors through him.
So Mateo Porcelato will be the first man to greet Janice, starting right at the top of the order. Porcelato sliced a ball between Keith Candell and Chris Ruiz in his first at-bat to reach to lead off the ball game. Porcelato ready in the box. Here's the pitch from Janice. That is inside for ball 1. 8 walks in 11 2/3 innings, as you mentioned, Noah. Janice also pitched for the Panthers last season in just 1 game. Offering on its way. That one misses inside to Porcelato. 2 balls and no strikes.
Porcelato led off the ball game with a base hit before being retired at second on a steal attempt.
Here's the 2-0 on its way. Porcelato in the hole. That one will get through into right field. So it's a leadoff single for Porcelato once again. He's 2 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, you can see why the Jackfish love him so much at the top of the order, leading off ball games, and now leads off the inning here with his second hit of the night. Type of guy as well, the Jackfish and Porcelato, where just because he was thrown out a couple innings ago doesn't mean there's no threat for him to run here again in the third.
Jackfish not afraid to steal bases at any point in the ball game. Just because he was thrown out, like you mentioned, doesn't mean that Brian Essery and Patrick Casey won't call a steal here. Here's the first pitch. Porcelato not running. Morello takes that one low for ball 1.
14 steals for Porcelato this season, is tied for the lead on the Jackfish.
Brandon Nicholson, who set the single-season IBL stolen base record, as that one's in there for a strike, was traded to Hamilton not all that long ago. He was a member of the original Jackfish back in 2019. Stuck with the team up until this year when he was dealt. Janice sets. Here's the pitch. Squaring around to bunt is Morello as Porcelato faked a break from first base, and it's 2-1.
Quick pullback there, able to recognize early on that breaking ball missing down in the zone. Janice a little bit of a slower worker compared to Edison Gonzalez, so the Jackfish adjusting the approach a little bit here.
2-1 on its way. That one is inside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike to Morello. Janice has missed frequently in that spot. He did the same to Porcelato. A little bit low and inside. Here's the 3-1 home. Off the outside corner for ball 4. So Gio Morello is issued a free pass, and there's 2 runners on with nobody out as Eduardo De Olio heads out to the mound.
Well, the hard knock base hit into right field led off the inning. Now a walk is. It almost looked like Janice was trying to work around the bat of Morello. And now they have a pair of runners on here with nobody out. Right through the heart of the order here for the Jackfish in the top of the third. They're trying to keep the pedal down. Already up 3-0.
So Carlos Martinez steps into the batter's box here for Welland. Martinez, a native of Cartagena, Colombia. He rips this one into left field. Around third, getting the wave home is Porcelato. The throw from Joseph will go into second base. And the Welland Jackfish lead 4-0.
Well, hit number 6 in the ballgame for Welland. Here in the early going, brings in yet another run. They'll swap spots there. Runners remain at first and second, nobody out. As Janice getting hit a little bit here in the top of the third.
So James Smybert into the batter's box now for Welland. Still nobody out in the inning, 2 runners on. That's Morello at second and Martinez at first. Smybert, the cleanup hitter for Welland, as that one drops in there for a strike.
Right at the bottom of the zone there, but able to get the strike call.
Oh, 1 on its way. That's off the plate outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Another big run stands out there at second base for the Jackfish.
Janice sets 1-1 home. That one is inside. It will get to the backstop. Gio Morello takes around at third base as both runners move into scoring position now for the Jackfish. And Smybert is in a hitter's count at 2-1.
Yeah, and for Smybert here, he's got himself in a great spot now, 2-1. Runners able to move up. And both of them now in scoring position. Smybert second in the Intercounty Baseball League in runs batted in, leads the Jackfish with 33 coming into tonight's contest.
Well, the infield has come in here for this next offering to Smybert, which is off the plate outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out. Cleanup hitter in the Jackfish order is James Smybert. He is in the batter's box to face Skylar Janice here. Janice has struggled with the command a little bit, has thrown 13 pitches in the ball game, 4 of them for strikes. 3-1 home to Smybert. That is ball 4. So Janice issues a free pass. That's his second walk of the inning, and the bases are loaded now with nobody out as pitching coach Brent Wales makes a trip.
Yeah, all over the place, all over the zone there for Janice on the mound. With Smybert at the plate, Dylan, I was going to say, it's not a bad move. You have the base open at first base, but I don't think that was an intentional walk. I don't think they were even trying to work around Smybert. Janice has just been unable to find the zone here in this top of the third inning. And, of course, it'll bring Sam Cocker to the plate, who no slouch either. 25, I believe, runs batted in this season for him so far. And a .322 average to go with it. Good guy to have at the plate here for Welland, who will look to try and pile a few more on here in the top of the third.
The order does not get any easier.
No, there's no
progress.
breaks. There's no breaks.
So Cocker into the batter's box here. He's 0 for 1 on the day. That was against Edison Gonzalez, where he struck out swinging. He's got the bases loaded and nobody out. Here's the pitch. That one is going to miss for ball 1. The corners are in. It looks like Kane McGee is playing in front of the runner towards the cut of the grass. Chris Ruiz not too far in. The middle is back, that's for sure, in double play depth. So the Majors would concede a run if it's a ground ball to either Candel or Reyes Cruz. Here's the offering, swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one. Here's the pitch. Cocker on the ground. That one is just foul.
Needed probably another foot on that one to bring it back onto the fair side of the line. Count moves to 1-2. Janice in a better spot here. Still has to work smart. Has to be aggressive. And try to get the Majors through this inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Cocker. Just misses, and it's 2-2.
Well, as a pitcher on 1-2 there, that's a call I want. Breaking ball inside portion of the plate, and from our view here, it looked like he might have caught the inside corner. Doesn't get the call. Now he's got to make a good pitch on 2-2.
Here's the offering on its way. Cocker able to fight that one off, and we'll try it once more on 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Great fight off there at the plate by Cocker. He's the type of hitter as well. He can fight stuff off. Wait until he gets one he likes a little bit more here on 2-2.
Cocker rips that one down the left field line, and it is foul. Came close, but it's a foul ball, so the count remains 2-2.
Yeah, was able to rip that one, but once again, just unable to keep it fair. And again, another 2-2 count coming here for Janice against Cocker. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the third inning.
2 ball, 2 strike offering. That one low, 3-2.
And now for Janice, you're out of options. You got to be aggressive here. You got to throw a strike. Cocker knows that. He's going to be ready if it's close.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Sam Cocker in the batter's box. Here's the pitch in the air. Shallow right field. Reyes Cruz going out. Reichstein charging in. Reyes Cruz makes the catch. Morello fakes a tag. The throw is blocked there by DeOlio. So Janice induces the pop fly, and there's one away.
Able to get out there and run that one down in what ended up being shallow right field. Reichstein came on. It was called an infield fly. Majors get their first out, and a big one there. The middle infield, who was already playing at double play depth, conceding a run, will now get a chance to turn one and get out of this inning. Just 1 run across for the Jackfish so far here in the third.
Steve Moretto into the batter's box here for Welland. First pitch from Janice, cut on and missed for strike 1. Moretto walked in his first plate appearance of the ball game. Janice looks in for the sign from DeOlio and comes set. Offering on its way in the air. Left field hit well. Joseph back at the warning track, and that ball is gone. Steve Moretto, a grand slam. And the Welland Jackfish lead 8-0.
That ball was crushed out to deep left, and the grand slam will empty the bases. 5 runs across here in the third inning for the Jackfish, who have opened things up now to 8-0.
Less than ideal for the Majors as Janice comes out of the bullpen and surrenders 5 runs so far. Hogan Brown into the batter's box. You see the celebration there in the Welland dugout. Robert Mackey is loosening in the Majors bullpen. First pitch from Janice is in there for a strike to Hogan Brown.
Majors trying to find any way to work through this ball game now. And if they do go to Mackey in this inning, it would be the 3rd pitcher already in tonight's contest.
You get a look there at Mackey. He was just throwing some close tosses to the catcher, and now he's working off the mound, as you see on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. Mackey, if I'm not mistaken, is yet to appear as a pitcher for the Majors this season, but did appear as a pitcher for the Jackfish, and he was pretty solid in his work there as that one's hit on the ground to second base. Reyes Cruz works that over to first, and there's 2 gone.
Here's the ground ball that the Majors were looking for, just a batter too late. Gets the second out. And the Jackfish will continue on here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Ethan Hunt will step into the batter's box. To face Skylar Janice. First pitch on its way, in there for a strike. Hunt is 1 for 1. Singled on a broken bat flare into center field in his first at-bat. Here's the pitch. That one flared into shallow right field. Reyes Cruz broke back, now comes in and records the out to end the top of the 3rd inning, but not before the Welland Jackfish put up 5 as they lead 8-0 after 2.5.
Yeah, not a good start for the Majors here on this midweek contest. The Jackfish, though, are having some fun as we head to the bottom of inning number 3. 7 hits for Welland. They've brought across 8 runs. And the biggest one, the grand slam in the top of the 3rd.
Run scoring has not been an issue for the Welland Jackfish so far in the ball game today, whether it was against Gonzalez or Janice. And they lead by 8 here early in the contest. It's tough now for the Majors to find the motivation to get back into this ball game, down so many so soon.
Yeah, that can always be tough, looking up at a lopsided score to work back into a ball game. Your only really viable option, Dylan, is to try and chip away. Chip away a little bit at a time. A run or 2 here, 2 or 3 here would get the job done. And that's no guarantee that the Majors can settle down the Jackfish bats, who have been hot to start the ball game, scoring 8 runs on 7 hits so far.
Well, Robert Mackey has stopped throwing in the bullpen, so either he's ready or he's been told to have a seat. The Majors need something on the mound to stifle the Jackfish hitters, but right now that's been hard to find. They scored 3 off of Edison Gonzalez. They scored 5 in 1 inning off of Skylar Janice.
Coming into the night's action, Dylan, Jackfish averaging 8.9 runs per game. They've already...
Averaging?
Averaging.
Oh
that's their average, Dylan. 232 runs for the Welland Jackfish over 26 games this season.
I'm going to check the math on that because that's incredible.
Let me double check my math on that before I go.
Wow, no, you're right. I've got it here. Same result. Averaging over 8 runs per game. This Welland offense is
they're
on a tear.
Would you believe me if I told you they're actually second in the league?
Who's first?
The Kitchener Panthers are averaging over 9 runs a ball game.
Wow.
Of course, you can maybe believe that playing out of Jack Couch Park. But the Jackfish do it playing at what is still a spacious home stadium in Welland.
Keith Candell steps into the batter's box. First pitch he sees is going to miss for ball 1 from Harford.
Win a lot of ball games when you're putting up over 8 runs a game.
The IBL is a high-scoring league, especially at the top. The 1-0 is going to miss up and into Candell, 2-0. The Majors were right there over the past couple of seasons in terms of runs per game.
Majors at the bottom of the runs scored standings in the IBL this year.
In there for a strike, it's 2-1.
Talk about the 232 for the Jackfish. The Majors coming in tonight, 122.
They've played the fewest amount of games, but still quite the discrepancy between the two adversaries tonight, as that one's cut on and missed. What are the Majors averaging per game?
Majors 5.8.
Candell drives that one to left center field. Morello moving under it. He's got it, and there's one gone. So one away as things get turned back over to the top of the Majors order. Drew Lawrence will step into the batter's box. Lawrence, Reyes, Cruz, and DeOlio at the top. Into the windup goes Harford. Here's the pitch. Off the plate outside for ball one.
We talked about in the first inning, Dylan, and we brought it up about the fastball from Harford. First time through the order, we saw a lot of it against the London Majors bats. There he started Lawrence with the curveball. Now he comes back with the fastball, but we'll start to see second time through the order a bit more of that curveball.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Offering on its way from Harford to Lawrence. Lawrence squares around and takes high. It's 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Into the windup goes Harford. Here's the pitch. That's off the plate outside. It's 3-1.
Well, we talk about how the Majors can chip away. Lawrence just trying to find any way to get aboard here. Count now 3-1.
3-1 on its way. Inside, ball 4. So Drew Lawrence works a 1-out walk. That's 3 innings in a row now where the Majors have had a base runner with 1 away.
And the Majors, they know they can hit the ball as well. They've got some sluggers in the lineup. They've got some guys that can run into one. They need the table setters to get on base, and then they need the big bats to start driving some in. There's no reason why the Majors can't battle back in this ball game so long as they can hold the Jackfish roughly where they are in terms of runs.
Lawrence gets his lead off of first as Reyes Cruz takes a first pitch strike from Harford. Majors have had some interesting ball games with Welland this season in their 2 prior matchups as Harford peeks back at Lawrence and delivers. Swing and a miss. 0-2. It was a slugfest the first time the two teams faced off in Welland. 12-11 Jackfish final score. And then the next time they faced off, the end of June, nobody scored for 5 innings until the Majors finally got the lead and won that game 4-0 as that one is flared into left field. Coming in is Porcelato, the left fielder. He's there, and he's got it. 2 gone in the bottom of the 3rd.
2 quick outs. And, yeah, it was a slugfest the first time around. You look back at the Majors' schedule this year, Dylan. They have scored only 8 or more runs 4 times so far this year. Those all came in the first 8 games of the regular season.
Wow.
They started off the year hitting the ball well and have kind of fizzled out since then. Of course, to go with that comes some lower scoring games that we were talking about.
First pitch of DeOlio misses outside. Majors offense was rolling at the beginning of the year. The pitching struggled a little bit and has continued to at times this season as that one's cut on and missed by DeOlio. 1-1. Majors catcher is 0 for 1 on the day in his return to the lineup. That one cut on and missed. Tyler Dupuis made a nice play on him the last time he was at the plate on a fly ball into foul territory. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Lawrence takes his lead off of first, not running. DeOlio skies that one. Shallow left field, out goes Smybert, in comes Porcelato, and it's the left fielder, Mateo Porcelato, who will make the grab to end the inning. We're through 3 complete here at Labatt Park. Welland leads 8-0.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here inside Labatt Memorial Park as the kids finish up running the bases. And we get set to move along to the top of inning number 4. Noah Smith, Dylan Baker up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth as the Jackfish out in front to an early 8-0 lead here over the hometown London Majors. Skylar Janice back out onto the hill for the Majors. They'll look to try and work through against this Jackfish lineup before the Majors go to the bullpen. They'd like to hold off on doing so for at least a little while. 8 runs on 7 hits for Welland. They picked up a run in the top of the first, 2 more in the top of the second inning, and then the big blast came in inning number 3, the grand slam, part of a 5-run top of the third inning for the Jackfish. And that is where we sit as we get set and ready here to begin the top of the 4th. Only game in the Intercounty Baseball League this evening. Things will pick back up tomorrow night and then into the weekend. That will be a busy weekend for the Majors. They'll kick things off here Friday night at home before heading on the road for a pair of games Saturday night and Sunday night as well. Tyler Dupuis will step to the plate and lead things off here for Welland, looking to add on to that 8-0 lead. Ready to go here. Jadisa on the hill. This one hit in the air, left field. Ranging over, and that one's going to be caught. Fairly deep left field. A nice, quick, and easy first out to begin the top of the 4th inning.
Exactly what Janice was looking for, coming back out there for another inning. A quick out on the first pitch that Tyler Dupuis sees.
That's exactly what he needed there to begin the top half of the 4th inning and get things started. Jackfish will be back to the top of the order here. Mateo Porcelato. See if he can add on to what has been a great start to the night for him. 2 for 2.
First pitch catches the outside corner there, but Porcelato has really gotten some rallies going for the Jackfish. Got on board to start the game, got on board to start the 3rd, and now he's singled one right back up the middle.
3 for 3.
Not a bad start to the night for Mateo Porcelato.
Well, and you expect when you're a first-place team in the IBL that your table setters will set the table, and he has done, well, a perfect job at that tonight. 3 for 3. And now the Jackfish, who, after a quick out to begin the inning, just like that, seemingly are right back into it.
Porcelato on at first once again. Gio Morello into the batter's box. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Doubled to deep center field in the first inning. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 0-1.
0-1 count will be nice for Janice to get ahead, but dangerous bats here up and down the Jackfish order. 5 hits from batters 1 through 3. Of course, 3 of those coming from Porcelato as he swings through that one. Tried to hold up in time, 0-2.
Some frustration on the face there of Gio Morello. Not happy with himself that he jumped at that second offering. 0-2 the count. Janice readies. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3. Skylar Janice sets down Gio Morello looking as he exchanges words there with Jeff Rose, the home plate umpire, and there's 2 away.
Thought that one was on the inside portion of the zone. Jeff Rose says that one caught the corner. 2 gone here for Janice. Still working with a runner aboard here.
Carlos Martinez into the batter's box now for Welland, as Porcelato takes his lead off of first. Martinez takes low for ball 1.
8 hits for the Jackfish. There has been just 3 Jackfish batters not to record a hit here in the early going. Martinez does have one of the 8 hits for Welland tonight.
Janice sets. Porcelato the lead. Martinez lines that one straight back towards us, but the net blocks me from getting another souvenir.
A lot of things have to go right for you to be able to get a baseball, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, man. So many. A baseball has to either break right through the netting or defy the laws of physics.
Your easiest route is to ask for one on the way out tonight.
That's true. That's true. Majors can be stingy with the baseballs, though, if they're not hit out of play.
Well, have you seen the price of baseballs lately?
Oh, it's crazy. That one in the dirt. DeOlio gets up, thought about throwing, thought better of it. And Porcelato makes it to second base.
Speed can do a number of things for you. Stolen bases and also allow you to move up easily on balls like that in the dirt. No chance for DeOlio as that one got too far away from him.
Wild pitch the call on Skylar Janice there. 2 balls and 1 strike the count, 2 away. Porcelato dancing at second base. Pitch is in the dirt again. DeOlio keeps this one close enough that Porcelato can advance to third base.
DeOlio in his return to the lineup, Dylan, is being kept busy behind the plate in the early going here tonight.
He's thrown out a base runner, lots of pitches in the dirt, a couple to the backstop. Here's the 3-1 from Janice. That one's there to Martinez. It's 3-2.
Just on the outside edge, Martinez asking if that's as far as it'll go. I think getting an agreement there from the home plate umpire. Now the count full at 3-2.
You think Martinez is a pretty good gauge of the strike zone, catching for the Jackfish here tonight. Janice nods along with the catcher DeOlio and comes set out there on the rubber. 3-2, 2 out. Here's the pitch to Martinez. Called strike 3. Skylar Janice finishes off the top of the 4th with a pair of strikeouts looking. And the Jackfish go scoreless for the first time in an inning tonight. It remains 8-0 Welland.
Small victories for the Majors, and Janice there will take it. The first 0 on the board for the Jackfish tonight. And maybe that's something you can look up to on that scoreboard out there and try to turn the course of this game in the early going. A 0 on the board. Now you head to the bats here and see if you can put up one. See if you can grab a run here. Let's just start with that. 1 run at a time and go from there. 8-0 Jackfish lead.
Let's start with a hit.
A hit.
It's probably what's being said in the Majors dugout right now. They remain hitless. It's 8-0 in the run column, and it's 8-0 in the hit column, as you see on your screen there, in favor of the Welland Jackfish. So we'll see if the Majors can break through against Jake Harford here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Good spot in the order to do that. It's 4, 5, and 6. Joseph, Reichstein, Brownlee.
Yeah, good spot in the order. The Majors have only been able to get a couple of runners on. And they have had runners on tonight, but it's been via the walk. They'll have to try and break through against Harford, and they're going to need to do so, as you touched on, in the hit column first, and then later in the run column as they trail by 8.
Jake Harford, we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, not a guy who walks a lot of batters, but tonight, 3 walks in 3 innings. It's been 1 in every inning, which is what it averages out to and what it's been so far. We'll see if he can pitch a scoreless frame here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, you'd like to touch that and clean that up a little bit if you're Harford, but overall, if you're going to walk 3 guys, yeah, spread it out a little bit, right? 1 an inning, the way he's pitching so far. It hasn't hurt him yet, and he'll hope it doesn't hurt him to continue on in this contest.
Martinez out there now for the Jackfish as Harford wraps up his warm-up pitches. Majors trying to get something going offensively. We mentioned Jackfish with the second best offense in terms of runs per game this season. The Majors down near the bottom of the IBL this year. It all starts with the bottom of the order the middle of the order, I should say, making things happen. And Starling Joseph will lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth. He's got the power to put one out, but if you put one out here, you're still trailing by 7 runs. The Majors looking for a bunch of hits to get them on the base paths and looking to create some offense.
Well, and as we touched on, anything to just change the momentum, get the energy back towards the Majors side of the field.
That one will miss for ball 1.
Lots of time still left in the ball game in this evening, but listen, you got to get going at some point here. And the Majors, although only the bottom of the fourth, the outs start counting down.
Breaking ball there, broke a little bit too sharply, and it's 2-0.
And if you're struggling as well against a guy like Hartford, he's not going anywhere, right? The only way you're going to get him out of this ball game is to hit him.
2 balls, no strikes. Here's the offering on its way. That's up and in to Joseph. And he is in control of this at-bat, 3-0. The ball 4 chance rained down as Hartford deals the 3-0, and that will miss for ball 4. So Starling Joseph reaches first base to begin the bottom of the fourth.
Ball Flowers some in the walk there here in the bottom of the fourth to lead things off. Majors with another base runner here to kick off the bottom of inning number 4. You know, Dylan, I kind of like sometimes these midweek games where there's a little bit of a smaller crowd. You can hear everybody down there.
You sure can. That has its benefits, and that has its disadvantages as well. But when the Ball Flowers are out in full force, it is always a good time here at Labatt Park. First pitch to Byron Reichstein, in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Reichstein, his first time around this evening, hit one out to deep center. Gave it a ride, just out into the spacious confines here at Labatt Park.
Here's the offering on its way. Reichstein fouls that one off quickly. He's behind 0-2.
After a quick walk to begin the inning, Hartford right back against the power-hitting lefty Reichstein with 2 straight strikes.
0-2 pitch from Jake Hartford will miss high for ball 1. 1-2 the count. Hartford, the big righty. 6 feet 5 inches out there on the mound. Pitch on its way, swing and a miss, strike 3. Reichstein down swinging, and there's one gone at the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, right after Reichstein there with the fastball, got him to swing and miss. A little bit of a long swing there from Byron. Jackfish will take it. It's their first out here at the bottom of the fourth, and that'll bring up Cleveland Brownlee.
Still a good applause for Cleveland despite the smaller crowd. He's 0 for 1 today. Speaking of the Ball Flowers, they just sang their Cleveland Brownlee song. Here's the pitch. That one is up and in. 1-0.
Dylan, we haven't touched on it yet tonight. The Majors wearing those new blue alternates.
I like them, though. I like having a different look.
It's my first look at them in person so far this
It
season.
is, yeah.
It is. I believe I said in the offseason, I said, I like the Majors to have an alternate, a blue top alternate. They've had it in the past. They bring it back this year.
That one's off the plate outside. You and Roop chatted at both. Roop has been telling me he'd love an alternate for a little while, and he's got his wish this season. A dark blue that the Majors have been featuring. And it looks good, looks sharp. Here's the 2-0. Brownlee lines that one. It's going to be caught by Smybert. Quick throw to first base, and it's not in time. Joseph back with a dive.
Joseph almost got caught there. He was close, just getting back in with a head-first dive to first base. Brownlee just a little floater out towards shortstop for the second out here.
Two gone. Caden McGee steps into the batter's box for the Majors. McGee is 0 for 0. Walked in his last plate appearance. McGee fouls that one off. It's 0-1.
McGee, the big lefty bat here for the Majors. We have yet to see any massive power from him so far this year, but he's got kind of that big aggressive swing that you just feel like he can run into one.
1 ball, 1 strike to McGee. Batting .256 on the year. 10 hits this season. One of them for extra bases. That was a double. That pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Offering from Harford on its way. McGee is able to fight that one off, and it's 1-2 once more.
Just fighting to stay alive at the plate there is McGee. And a fastball, he was able to just fight it off the other way. 1-2, Harford up in the count here, in control.
Here's the pitch. That one is off the plate outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGee, a very patient guy at the plate. 7 walks to 10 strikeouts, a decent ratio for the Majors' first baseman. Pitch on its way. McGee gets a piece of that one, still 2-2.
Got a piece of that fastball, and it seemed trying to tell himself, looked like he was trying to say, keep those hands in, keep them ready, keep them quick. A little bit of a different approach here on 2 strikes.
2-2 on its way. McGee watches that one in the strike zone. It's a called third strike on Caden McGee there, and Jake Harford is through 4 scoreless innings here at Labatt Park. Welland leads 8-0.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Park for the 5th inning between the Majors and the Jackfish here on MajorsTV. Welland up 8-0. 1 run in the first inning. That was scored on a wild pitch. Then 2 in the second and 5 in the third. 4 of those 5 runs coming on the Steve Moreno grand slam. We're glad you're with us, though, on this Wednesday night. Not often we get to be with you on a Wednesday night from Labatt Park, so we're glad that we are here today. My name is Dylan Baker. Noah Smith with me in the broadcast booth. This, of course, a makeup game for last Tuesday's scheduled contest against the Welland Jackfish. That's even more rare, a scheduled game on a Tuesday. But there's another one coming up on August 1st against the Guelph Royals. The Majors are back in action after today on Friday when the Barrie Baycats come to town. Noah and I will be back here to call all the action for you once again on MajorsTV. Majors played a controversial one in Barrie last weekend, so we'll see what happens here on Friday. No animosity between the two teams, just some rule issues as things got late in that ballgame, which arguably cost the Majors the contest. As James Smybert steps into the batter's box to lead things off here in the top of the 5th against Scott Janice. First pitch he sees will miss for ball 1. Janice sets out there on the rubber and delivers. Smybert rips that one past the dive of Caden McGee. It is into right field, so it's a leadoff single for James Smybert, and the Jackfish have a base runner. Smybert smoked that one. McGee laid out to try to corral it, couldn't do it. So Smybert reaches first base, and now it'll be Sam Cocker. Cocker 0 for 2. Jackfish have 9 hits in the ball game. 3 of those coming from the leadoff man, Mateo Porcelato. As Cocker skies that one, shallow center field. Reyes Cruz going out. He is under it, and he makes a nice catch. Tough play there for Tommy Reyes Cruz with the distance that he had to cover, but he comes down with it. 1 gone. Steve Moretto into the batter's box now for the Welland Jackfish. Last time he came to the plate, he had a grand slam off of Skylar Janice back in the 3rd inning. Janice sets out there. First pitch on its way, in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Janice looks in for the sign from DeOlio. Comes set. Smybert the lead over at first after the single. 1 away. In the air, left field again by Moreno, but this one is well foul and will get out of play. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Skylar Janice looking to work through his 3rd inning out of the bullpen. Steps off the rubber there. Comes set. Looked like he stepped off from our view. 0-2 on its way. That one will miss. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Almost perfect location there on that 0-2 pitch. Bottom of the zone, maybe just a hair off the outside corner. And now we'll get it ready and work on 1 and 2. That runner's still standing at first base.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Janice readies on the rubber. That pitch is in the dirt. Nicely blocked by Eduardo Teolio. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Janice trying to work through the action down in the Majors bullpen. Dylan has quieted for now.
Robert Mackey was loosening in Janice's 1st inning of work. That was the 3rd, but he has since sat down. Here's the pitch. Off the plate outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Janice works this count to full.
Probably still somewhat ready to go. The Majors could have him ready in maybe a batter or 2 if they need it. With 1 gone here in the inning, if Janice can get the next batter, I imagine he could work through this inning.
3 balls, 2 strikes the count. 1 away. Smybert over at first base. Time called, I believe, by Moretto, as Janice was taking a long while out there on the mound.
He was. We saw a little bit of a lead there over at first base. I don't think the Jackfish are going to run here on 3 and 2 with just 1 gone. But they could surprise you.
3-2 on its way. That one will miss for ball 4. Frustration visible on the mound there for Janice. And out of the dugout comes Roop Chanadat to get some action going in the bullpen.
Yeah, you had to wonder with everyone sitting down in the Majors bullpen if a walk would have done the trick to get him back up and going. And it will, with just 1 out here in the inning.
And it is Robert Mackey once again.
Listen, if the Majors feel, Dylan, like they might have a chance of coming back in this ball game, it's got to stay at 8.
Yeah.
They can't let this deficit get any worse than it is so far.
First pitch to Hogan Brown is going to miss for ball 1.
It's going to be enough of a task to keep the Jackfish off the scoreboard the rest of the way. 8-0 deficit right now here, just top of the 5th inning.
That one is on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Janice has thrown 52 pitches through 2 1/3 innings, has walked 3 batters, struck out 2, conceded a grand slam in the 3rd, but has been solid since. 2 runners on base here, though. Some late break on that one, and it missed. 2-1.
Not a bad location on that pitch, but it wasn't where DeOlio was. And sometimes you won't get the call when that happens. Catcher sets up, let's say, on the outside, and the ball ends up what maybe could be called a strike on the inside. Sometimes you got to hit your spots to also get rewarded.
2-1 the count. Janice peeks back at second base. Offering on its way in the dirt. Skips away from DeOlio. Looked like he may have tried to pick that baseball. Came up empty, and on the wild pitch, 2 runners will advance.
Yeah, DeOlio went almost for the pick with the glove hand instead of down into a full block. But I go back to that point, Dylan. He has been busy tonight. Lots of blocks, lots of pitches in the dirt that he's had to deal with here so far.
3-1 will miss for ball 4. So both runners move up on the wild pitch, and then Hogan Brown works a walk, and that'll lead to a mound visit here from pitching coach Brent Wales.
Yeah, it's just a mound visit, so we're not going to see any changes here on this visit to the hill. But getting loose in the Majors bullpen, you got to get a sense of maybe one more batter for Janice.
We've seen Mackey get loose and then sit back down already in the ball game. We'll find out if that's the case here. Top of the 5th inning between the Majors and the Jackfish. 8-0 Welland. Welland scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 5 in the third. Went scoreless in the 4th, and they are pushing to get on the scoreboard here in the 5th. Mackey appears to have stopped throwing, at least for the moment, in the bullpen, so he may be ready to go. Janice peeks back at second base. Here's the pitch. It is in there for strike 1 to Ethan Hunt.
Hunt is 8. After him, Dupuis, the bottom of the order, and then you start getting back into Welland's big bats.
Good breaking ball there from Janice. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Bases loaded here for Welland. Ethan Hunt at the plate. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, says first base umpire Chris Walters. Veteran crew for the umpires today. Jeff Rose behind the plate. Chris Walters at first base and Steve Cochran at third. No shortage of experience for the umpires today.
No, I was going to say, Dylan, a lot of familiar names out there for the umpiring crew. You kind of have that ability on a Tuesday night lone game in the league tonight.
No competition to be dealing with sending umpires to different places. That one is lined straight back at the screen. A foul ball, 1-2 again.
A big weekend, at least in the local area, for tournaments. The junior eliminations were this past weekend in the area. Dorchester, Exeter in the area all had games played. Finished up yesterday with the Tomcats coming out on top with the gold.
Big congratulations to the Majors affiliate, the St. Thomas Tomcats. That one is fouled off, and 1-2 again.
So, of course, a lot of the umpires getting work in there. And with that brings, of course, a slowdown of games for those teams in the area and some open availability. But, yeah, big congratulations to the Tomcats. I believe it was a 6-1 record to finish off that tournament.
Wow, impressive. They beat Guelph, I believe, in the finals, right?
Yep, their only loss to Guelph as well. Came back and beat them in the finals.
High chopper. Ruiz goes to second for 1. Reyes Cruz, tough turn to first, and they got him. A great double play there, turned by Chris Ruiz, Tommy Reyes Cruz, and Kane McGee to escape the jam. The Jackfish load the bases, don't score any, but luckily for them, they're up by 8.
Wow, what a great double play turn for the Majors to get them out of that jam. It was the top of the Jackfish order coming up next, and you did not want that inning to go any further along. We talked about how the Majors have to hold off, keep the Jackfish where they are, and try to get anything going on offense. It's one thing to have given up 8 so far, 8 in the first 3 innings for the Majors pitching staff to give up. It's another thing to not have any offense to speak of so far.
Big goose egg in the hit column right now for the London Majors, as you see on your screen there. The Jackfish out hitting them 9-0. They lead in the score column 8-0. No action in the Jackfish bullpen. Jake Harford has issued his fair share of walks. He's issued 1 in each inning. That's 4 total through 4 innings of work. Has thrown 67 pitches. So despite the walks, not in a terrible place, all things considered. You think 4 walks, maybe the pitch count's a little bit higher. but Hartford not crazy high at the moment. Certainly a little higher than where you'd like it to be, but not a problem.
You have that ability when your team stakes you to an 8-0 lead early in the ballgame. Right? I know Hartford obviously may have a different mindset. He doesn't want to walk guys. But you don't necessarily have to, let's say, come after a DeOlio or a Starling Joseph or Brownlee and attack them the same way you would had this be a 2-0 ball game or even a 3-0 ball game. 8-0, as much as you care about your stats, you don't care if you can be aggressive and they get a hold of one.
Yeah.
But, hey, he's looking at a good start so far. Majors looking for their first hit as we start the bottom of the fifth.
It'll be 8-9-1 for the Majors. Chris Ruiz, Keith Candell, Drew Lawrence are due up. If you're a Blue Jays fan, they're in action against the Padres tonight, and the Padres lead the Blue Jays 2-0 after 6.5 as the first pitch to Ruiz is delivered on the outside corner for strike one. As mentioned, it's the only game in the IBL tonight. Sometimes Toronto's in action on Wednesday nights at Christie Pitts. Not today. 0-1 off the plate outside. 1-1.
Yeah, we talked about the Majors have been behind on the games played so far, which means it'll be a busy end of the season.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Ruiz. That is up and in for ball 2. Ruiz digs into the batter's box here for London. No throwing in the Majors bullpen. 2-1 on its way. That's high, 3-1. And the reason I mentioned the lack of throwing in the Majors bullpen is, for me at least, I don't know about you, I thought Robert Mackey was coming in next inning either way.
Mm-hmm.
Whether Janice got out of it or not, but.
Well, and maybe he's warm. Maybe he is warm and coming into the ball game still.
That one misses high to Chris Ruiz. Ball 4, so Hartford issues his 5th free pass of the ball game, and the Majors have a base runner to lead off the 5th.
Yeah, Dylan, it looks like a pinch hitter coming into the ball game as well, as I believe Judd Walker has grabbed a bat and will hit here with a runner aboard.
Interesting move for Majors manager Roop Chanadat.
Spot of Keith Candell in the order, so that will bring some defensive changes with it.
Judd Walker into the batter's box. No, was it Judd Walker who we were looking at in BP that was smashing the baseball? Is that
he
who that
was? Yeah, he was hitting some balls out to deep left and deep left center field.
We'll see if he can get something going offensively for the Majors here. First pitch from Jake Hartford is fouled off. Walker listed on the roster as an outfielder. So we'll see what defensive changes come about. That one on the outside corner, 0-2.
I believe he has played some infield in the past. I don't know if that's going to be the move here.
Walker skies that one. Shallow left field. Porcelado well positioned, and he's got it for the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning.
I'll bring us back to the top of the Majors order in Drew Lawrence. Majors still on the hunt for that first hit here this evening, bottom of the 5th inning.
Lawrence 0 for 1, as is every single member of this Majors order. Hitless in the ball game. Lawrence has walked, so he's been on base. That one will miss for ball 1. He lined out in his first at-bat. Walked in his second plate appearance. Want to know the count. Hartford sets out there on the mound. Quick throw over to first base. Back with the dive is Chris Ruiz. Ruiz a very good base runner, but I don't believe we've seen him steal yet this season.
I don't know if now's the spot for it as well. Of course, he might test him.
That one is there for a strike correction. He's stolen 2 bases this year, including one in his first game. Second came last Sunday, as that one will miss. Excuse me, the Sunday prior to that. Majors have been off for a little while, which means we've been off for a little while, so it's felt more recent, but not quite, as Harford sets out there on the mound. 2 balls, 1 strike the count. Ruiz takes his lead, pitch on its way. That one misses to Lawrence, 3-1.
Yeah, we got the pleasure of having last weekend off from broadcasting. But when you do that and things start to add up, and here we are 2 weeks without calling a game, I believe.
Exactly, 3-1. That misses up and into Drew Lawrence. So Jake Harford now with 6 walks in the ball game, including 2 in this frame. Drew Lawrence has worked his second walk of the night, and there's 2 runners on with 1 away for Tommy Reyes-Cruz.
Well, and this comes to the point now for the Majors where Harford is obviously struggling a little bit today with the walks. Fortunately for him, the Majors have not been able to make him pay for that, and now we'll get a meeting on the hill.
Appears to be Jackfish manager Brian Essery out there, but there's no movement in the Jackfish bullpen at the moment. Get a good look at the meeting on the mound there on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. Some frustration from Harford. Missing his spots on 2 of the last 3 hitters, allowing them to reach. And we mentioned 67 wasn't overly concerning coming into this inning as long as he had a quick inning. He's already up to 80 through 4 1/3 innings. 80 pitches, that is.
He doesn't look concerned, Dylan.
No.
You can see it there. A little frustration after the walk, but he'll settle back in. One of the things that I've enjoyed this season, one of the upgrades we made over the offseason was that mobile cam, and that field level view gives you a little bit of a different perspective into the players.
That pitch cut on and missed there by Tommy Reyes-Cruz. And yeah, no, that 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera, a lovely addition to our Majors TV setup. Really cool to have that perspective, to be able to go so close to the action on the field as that one will miss. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Reyes-Cruz.
1 now for Reyes-Cruz. This is a big part of the London Majors order here, and a chance to try and drive in a run with their first hit here.
Reyes-Cruz in the air, shallow center, left center I should say. Morello moves over, he's under it, and he makes a nice catch for the second out.
And a continuation of what has been going on for the Majors tonight. They've either been way underneath things, slightly out in front. Dylan, I'm hard-pressed to find maybe more than 1 or 2 occasions tonight that the Majors have really barreled up a baseball.
Off the top of my head,
like a Byron Reichstein fly out to center, he hit that pretty hard. But aside from that, it's been some fairly weak contact.
It sure has been. Harford has been effective when he's been in the strike zone as Eduardo DeOlio steps into the batter's box. Here's the pitch. DeOlio fouls that one off, and it's 0-1. Alan Ross in the chat saying the raffle ticket seller in Toronto needs the night off, and that's why they're not playing. Well, Alan, we hope you're enjoying your night off at home today. We're glad you're with us on Majors TV. We're glad that everybody's watching along on this Wednesday night.
We all know Alan deep down is missing being at the pits tonight.
He definitely
He'll try
is.
and tell you that he isn't, but he is.
0-1 count, 2 runners on base. DeOlio hits that one hard to right field. Going back on it, Hogan Brown looking up, and that ball is out of here. Eduardo DeOlio returns to the lineup and hits one to the opposite field out of the ballpark. And the Majors trail by 5. It's 8-3.
What better way to get the first hit of the ball game across for the Majors here? It took to the 5th inning, but DeOlio launches one out to right field, and he pushes across 3 in a hurry.
DeOlio smoked that baseball. You had a feeling it was going to be the first hit. I didn't know if it had the height to get out, but it did in the end.
It was on a line, and it was hit the opposite way.
Yeah.
If you didn't see who swung the bat, you might have thought that someone pulled that one and ripped it on a line out to right field, but it was DeOlio going the other way. The Majors have a 3 in the run column and a 1 in the hit column, and they are on the board in both ways.
So Starling Joseph steps into the batter's box here for the Majors. 0 for 1 today. Looking to break into the hit column as well. Joseph smokes that one foul. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Joseph in the batter's box. Harford out there on the mound. Robert Mackey has gotten back up in the Majors bullpen. 0-1, breaking ball. Ooh, had a lot of break to it, but didn't catch the strike zone. 1-1.
Yeah, that missed on the inside, but not by much. It's a well-located curveball. Goes the Majors' way and Joseph's way, and it's 1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Here's the pitch from Harford. Breaking ball off the plate outside, 2-1.
So I don't know if we brought it up yet, Dylan, but there is some action down in the Welland bullpen.
I've not mentioned that. Yeah, I was just noticing.
After the home run from DeOlio. Try and see if I can get a number down there. Here's the 2-1.
Pitch to Joseph, cut on and missed, 2-2. Our binoculars, Noah, that our lovely colleague Matt Hiscox brought, are at the other end of the press box tonight.
They're not even within reach.
We've got no way to access them. He's telling us it's number 3 warming up in the Jackfish bullpen. Into the windup here. Offering on its way from Harford. Called strike 3. Joseph goes down looking to end the 5th inning, but the Majors finally break through in the hit column and on the scoreboard. They get 3 on the Eduardo DeOlio 3-run home run as we head to break.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Park for the 6th inning between the Majors and the Welland Jackfish. Get a look at the scoreboard there. Not exactly favoring the Majors on this beautiful Wednesday evening for baseball at the Forks of the Thames.
That's not the first time that I've called it a Tuesday either. Is it me throwing you off, or does it just feel like a Tuesday?
You know what I think it is, Noah? I think it's the fact that these two teams were supposed to play on a Tuesday last week.
Exactly.
And it's a midweek game again. It's not like it's a weekend, so we're kind of in the mindset, oh, this is just the Tuesday game they were supposed to play. But no, it is a Wednesday, as Robert Mackey has taken over on the mound for the London Majors. And Noah, this is an intriguing call to the bullpen, because Robert Mackey has yet to work in a ball game, unless I'm mistaken, on the mound for the Majors this year. He's worked in 1, it looks like.
Yeah, Dylan, he has worked, I believe, if we look at it, just in 1 ball game so far. But he does have pitching experience in that game 2 seasons ago, with the Welland Jackfish. Just 1 game for him. He's pitched in an inning and a third. So really there's not a whole lot that we can go off of here for Robert Mackey. We'll get to see him work here tonight, and we'll see what he can do. Majors have put 3 runs across, courtesy of Eduardo DeOlio, and now all of a sudden, Dylan, this ball game that once seemed way out of hand gets just a little bit closer.
Mackey going to try to keep it that way. His larger sample size on the mound, as you mentioned, came with Welland in 2021. 7 games, 1-0 record, 0.87 earned run average in 10 1/3 innings, so he was stellar for them. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. This season, just 1 strikeout. Into the windup goes Mackey. Here's the first pitch of Tyler Dupuis in there for a strike.
Good way to start there for Mackey. Gets ahead with that fastball. See if he can just be all around the zone here. That would be a good outing for him here in this contest.
0-1, that drops in there to Dupuis, and it's 0-2. Dupuis from out west in British Columbia. Pardon me, Mackey from out west, I should say. That one is lined and fouled down the right field line.
Count will stay at 0-2.
Mackey is from Vancouver. And in case you were curious after my fumble, Tyler Dupuis is from St. Catharines, Ontario. So a hometown kid for the Jackfish, right around the Welland area. 0-2 count here against Robert Mackey. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. So Robert Mackey records a strikeout of the first batter he faces, and there's one gone in the top of the sixth.
Like the stuff I saw there from Mackey to begin his outing here. Attacked with the fastball, showed good stuff with the off-speed, and then gets the strikeout for the first out here of the sixth inning.
Now this will not be an easy out for Robert Mackey as Mateo Porcelato steps into the batter's box. Porcelato is 3 for 3 today, 3 singles in the ball game. First pitch from Mackey on its way. Porcelato takes that one. It's ball one.
It's been a tough out all season long and has continued that here tonight. See if he can add his fourth hit of the contest.
Into the windup goes Mackey. Here's the pitch. That one flared, shallow left field, and into no man's land. That drops in front of Starling Joseph, and Mateo Porcelato is 4 for 4.
Yeah, have a night at the plate. Mateo Porcelato, 4 hits. He's ripped a couple. That one didn't get as much of. But when you're on, you're on. That one drops in.
He's going to get another at-bat here tonight, and he's got a shot at a 5-hit ball game when he comes up at the latest in the 9th inning as Gio Morello steps into the batter's box here for Welland. Morello 1 for 2 on the day. Worked a walk, doubled, and struck out. Porcelato takes his lead. Pitch on its way, squaring around to bunt is Morello, and he bunts that one foul.
Oh, and 1 here. There's the fans.
That chirp got me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can see. Crack Dylan up here in the broadcast booth.
Every once in a while, you hear a good singer from up here.
Well, and we touched on it, how the ballpark not as filled as it is usually on a Friday night. Or this Wednesday night crowd, and you can hear everybody.
0-1 pitch, that one fouled off, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Gio Morello.
We've had some requests, Dylan, from fans in the chat and people we talked to get some more field mics down there. There's a reason why we have to stay away from some of those field mics at times. You have to have someone monitoring those things.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And we don't quite have the crew for that yet. 0-2 on its way. That one in the air. Left field line. Slicing, and it will be a foul ball.
The ball was ripped the opposite way.
Hit hard there by Gio Morello. So no balls and 2 strikes the count here on Gio Morello for the Welland Jackfish. He's got Porcelato standing over at first base. Time called. Mackey wants to talk things over with DeOlio, and this is likely a product of these two not having worked together too much this season, perhaps in Majors practices, but his only pitching outing was when DeOlio was sidelined.
Yeah, they'll go ahead and they'll just chat a few things over. This likely isn't so much about where they want to go on 0-2. More of just something that maybe has to do with signs, vision for Mackey. Pretty good lights here at Labatt Park, but sometimes if the catcher gets too deep with those signs, regardless of where you are, it can be tough to read.
0-2 the count. Porcelato takes his lead off of first. Pitch to Morello. Breaking ball there. Fouled off. And we'll try it again on 0-2. Morello ready in the batter's box as Mackey comes set. On the move from first, Porcelato pitches in the dirt. Deolio couldn't grip it. And that will allow Porcelato to swipe second base.
Deolio got up in time and actually positioned himself pretty well, but it was the transfer from the glove to his right throwing hand where he just couldn't figure out the grip and couldn't get the throw down.
So runner in scoring position for Welland now with one away. Morello trying to drive him home and extend the Jackfish lead. On the ground towards second base, Reyes Cruz, backhand stop, throw to first. That one in the dirt. It will get all the way to the Jackfish dugout. Speeding around second, heading for third is Gio Morello. The throw in is snagged there by Chris Ruiz, and that'll be an error charge. Pardon me, not to Reyes Cruz. That's Dan Patel, I think, out at second base. Reyes Cruz has slid over to shortstop, taking the place of Judd Walker.
Yeah, we mentioned the batting change. Judd Walker came in as a pinch hitter for Keith Candell with that Reyes Cruz. If we're getting this correctly, he slid over to shortstop. Throwing error. That one just in the dirt and unable to pick it.
Porcelato scores. Morello ends up at third as the first pitch to Martinez is in there for a strike, 0-1.
Well, it really changes things there, too. The Majors could have had 2 outs with just a runner at third. Now there's a runner at third with 1 out and a run across.
Here's the pitch. That one will miss, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 9-3 Welland. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Morello at third base. The 1-1 to Martinez in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That one well out in front of the plate there. Had Deolio down to block it, and been a long night for him so far. A lot of action with the pitching staff so far. 2-1.
In the windup goes Mackey. Here's the 2-1 home on the ground to second base. It's Patel. A shot at redemption, throws over to first and records the second out as Morello comes in to score the 10th run for the Jackfish.
Well, once again, that goes back to how that error will hurt the London Majors. 10th run comes across to score 2 here in the top of inning number 6. And those 3 runs you pick back up to make it a little bit more of a ball game, almost immediately erased here.
First pitch to James Smybert misses. Yeah, you mentioned it, Noah. Majors were starting to claw back. Deolio, the 3-run home run, a little bit of momentum. A smaller deficit, but the Jackfish have extended the deficit back to 7 for the Majors. 2 balls and no strikes here to Smybert from Mackey. Into the windup, the Majors right-hander. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 3.
3-0 here for Mackey. There's no action in the Majors bullpen. This is going to be his inning to work through. He's fallen behind 3-0 here. Has to work back in this count.
That one is high for ball 4. So James Smybert works a 2-out walk, and the Jackfish have a base runner yet again as Sam Cocker steps into the batter's box.
Cocker will come to the plate here and look to try and keep the inning going here for the Jackfish. Cocker 0 for 3 in tonight's contest.
Peeking back over at first base is Mackey. Steps off and then gets back on the rubber. Comes set out there. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 1 to Cocker.
Gets up 0-1 on Cocker. He, as mentioned, 0 for 3. Just 2 Jackfish now in the starting lineup that do not have a hit of the 11 on the scoreboard for Welland.
0-1 count. Here's the pitch on its way. Breaking ball. That's outside. It gets by DeOlio. We'll see if that one scored a passed ball or a wild pitch, as that allows the runner to get to second base. I'm being told it's a passed ball. Charge to DeOlio.
Yeah, almost just got a little bit lazy there on that pitch. Bounced off his glove and away from him. Touch on how it's been a long night. He's had to work a whole lot behind the plate tonight.
1 ball and 1 strike as Mackey peeks back at second. Here's the offering. Smoked but foul down the third baseline. 1-2.
These games when you're trailing big can oftentimes be more mentally draining than physically, Dylan.
Yeah.
You've got to focus up to try and work through, or those little things, right? Like a ball that just hops off your glove. The throwing error at second base that you make 100 times.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. That one just high to Cocker. 2-2.
Went breaking ball up in the zone, but did not get enough break in time. Count now moves to 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on its way in the dirt, and that one skips away from DeOlio as well. We'll see the scoring on that one as the count runs full.
Yeah, full count here as Mackey and DeOlio will chat things over again.
Think he got crossed up on that one, maybe?
Yeah, might have been as they chat things over here. Talk about the busy night for DeOlio. That one he didn't even get down for the block, so I'm starting to think maybe he was not expecting that pitch.
It's ruled a wild pitch there from Robert Mackey. 3-2's the count. 2 away in the top of the 6th inning. Mackey's already thrown 25 pitches here. Mackey takes a breath. Into the windup he goes against Sam Cocker. Line straight back at the screen. It's a foul ball, and we'll try again on 3-2.
Mackey desperately trying to work through this inning here. 2 runs across for the Jackfish.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Offering on its way from Robert Mackey. Fouled off yet again by Sam Cocker, putting up a good battle here. 7 pitch at bat here for the Jackfish designated hitter. Mackey steps off.
Yeah, I'm really thinking that Mackey and DeOlio are kind of all over the map with each other here. Seen a couple step-offs there, the mix-up.
That's what will happen. We just haven't really had the chance to work together much. 3-2, Cocker belts that one to center field. Long run for Drew Lawrence, and he is right there to come up with it and end the top of the 6th inning. A great play there by the Majors center fielder on what was a long run into left center field. The Jackfish are up by a score of 10-3. That's a safe lead and a good cushion. They've got all the insurance they need. Need some help with some insurance? Here's our insurance tip of the game with our insurance guy, Eric Gagne.
So this week's insurance tip, we're talking about swimming pools in backyards. And does your insurance agent or broker know that you have a swimming pool? Many do not realize that there is liability insurance coverage that's extended to swimming pools for those that have them in their backyards. And this protects the homeowner in the event that there's a drowning or other type of injury in relation to the pool. So make sure your insurance company knows about the pool for the liability insurance. The second piece of that is a lot of these pools are costing a lot of money to replace new. So make sure your insurance company knows the cost of the project or the pool that you put in so that they can add that to the value of your home. In the event that there's a total loss, for example, a fire at your home, chances are the pool's going to be damaged as well too, and that will need to come out and then be replaced as well. So make sure they know the value of the pool. So this week's tip, make sure your insurance company knows that you have a swimming pool. I'm Eric Gagne with our insurance guy. Now back to you guys in the booth.
Eric, thank you. That was our insurance tip of the game with our insurance guy, Eric Gagne. As the Majors head back on offense, looking to get some of those runs that they just gave up back. They shortened the deficit to 8-3 and then conceded 2 runs in the top half of that inning. It's 10-3 Welland.
Yeah, it hurts just a little bit, Dylan, because you get back into the game. Keep in mind the Majors still just have the one hit. That was the long ball for DeOlio that left the yard. But they almost had like a little bit of hope after that long ball, right? You're back in a ball game. You brought back a little bit of energy to your side. And then the Jackfish go back out after 2 straight innings of no runs, and they pick up a couple.
Here's the pitch. First pitch is up and in to Will Pollard, taking over for Byron Reichstein at the plate. Into the windup goes Harford. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Pollard there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We'll see that from the Majors, and Roop Chanderdat will start to empty the bench a little bit, bring some guys in for some at-bats.
Looks like Will Pollard actually took over defensively in the top half for Byron Reichstein. Here's the 1-1. Off the plate, 2-1. Still only in the bottom of the 6th inning here at Labatt Park.
He moved over to right field for Reichstein. Is that where he was?
Yes.
Pollard?
2 ball, 1 strike count to Will Pollard. Lines that one back to the screen. It's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. To Will Pollard. Here's the pitch. In the air, foul territory. After it goes Moretto towards the fence, and that one is out of play. It'll come back in play. Moretto makes the catch. That's not going to count, though.
Took a nice hop off the bleacher section and right back towards where he was to make the catch. Count will stay at 2-2 here on Will Pollard.
Here's the 2-2 on its way. Pollard lines that one straight back to the screen. And we'll try again. Pollard putting together a pretty solid AB here. Harford up to 96 pitches now through 5 innings. Into the windup he goes. 2-2 home. Pollard rips that one left field. Sinking quickly. It gets in front of Portulato and drops in for a base hit. So Will Pollard has the Majors' 2nd hit of the night.
Pollard comes off the bench, came in defensively. Now his first at-bat. Smokes the 2nd hit of the ball game for the Majors into left field.
So Pollard aboard, and Cleveland Brownlee will step into the batter's box now for London. Brownlee is 0 for 2 today. A ground out and a pop out, both to the shortstop. Harford ready's on the mound. Here's the pitch. Check swing from Brownlee, strike 1.
Brownlee animated there. Didn't like that one at the bottom of the zone. Still that dangerous bat. Got to approach him carefully here.
No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Brownlee comes up empty on that swing. 0-2.
And I don't just say that because he told me I have to say nice things about him today. I was walking after we were doing our setup today, and he yells at me from the mound. He's throwing batting practice for the Majors today, and I'm just about halfway down the ramp when I hear, "Hey, Noah, say good things about me today."
I love Cleve. He's always having such a good time at the ballpark.
Stays in it, 0-2 after that foul ball.
Coming set on the mound, Harford up at an even 100 pitches now. That one is in there, called strike 3. Brownlee knew it. Frustrated, I think more so about that first strike call than the last, as that one was center cut. There's one gone.
And that can go with some, just frustration boiling over on the course of the ball game here for Brownlee. 10-3 the Jackfish lead, and he hasn't had any success at the plate tonight.
He's not alone, though, for the Majors.
Certainly not.
First hit was Eduardo DeOlio's 3-run homer. The second was Will Pollard, who just came off the bench, as that one's fouled off by Kane McGee.
Yeah, the only guy who's had a shred of success tonight is DeOlio's with his home run. Pollard, of course, could claim some of that as well. He's 1 for 1 coming off the bench.
No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Pollard takes his lead off of first. Here's the pitch to McGee inside, and that clips him. So Kane McGee gets hit, and he will take first base. 2 runners on now for the Majors.
So Majors get a couple of runners aboard here, and in the bottom of the 6th inning, with 1 gone, we'll try to put something together. Fans trying to help him out, Dylan. I see a wave starting to try to get its way moving around the crowd tonight.
See, here's the tough part about the wave. On a night like this, a Wednesday where the crowd is a little sparse,
yeah, it's sparse.
They're more spread out,
yeah,
right?
We don't have to beat around the bush here.
So how do you get the wave going if there's so many gaps in the wave?
Well, I'll let you know, Dylan. It's not really going. They're trying to get it started. It doesn't make it any further than the first baseline grandstand.
Pitch to Chris Ruiz is fouled off because either the thing that makes the wave work is everybody's jammed together, right?
Yep.
And it looks like
Yep.
one big wave. But if one person does the wave and then 2 sections over another person does the wave, it's not looking like a wave, is it?
No. It's very choppy. And
choppy waters are dangerous.
Oh, here they come again. They're going to try it one more time. And nope. Fizzled out again. It's just not the night.
0-1 is fouled straight back at the screen by Chris Ruiz. Not the night for the Wave, not the night for the Majors so far, as they trail by 7 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Some fans still having a good time. Well, the Wave is making its way around now. I just saw it in front of us.
You can see it kind of down behind the backstop there.
Pitch to Chris Ruiz is off the plate. 1-2. Noah, our colleague Matt Hiscox warned us earlier this week about the mosquitoes being out in full force at Labatt Park, and I am going to admit that I am getting ravaged right now by these mosquitoes as we work into the later hours of the night. Chris Ruiz gives that one a ride to left field. Moving back on it is Porchelato. He's there. Faking a tag from second is Pollard, and there's 2 gone.
Well, I tell you, the fans really wanted that one to carry a little bit further, but underneath it was Ruiz flying out to fairly standard left field for the second out here of the inning.
So that will bring up Dan Battelle. Battelle took over for Judd Walker, who came in for Keith Candell. And this is one of the first plate appearances we've seen Battelle take in a long while. It was our understanding that he had a bit of an injury that allowed him to field, but did not allow him to hit. He was struggling to swing the bat, but he sends this one on the ground to shortstop. Smiber to throw over to Moretto, and the side is retired. So Jake Harford threw 6 innings, allowing 3 runs. The Jackfish lead 10-3 after 6 on Majors TV.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Some young fans sticking around at the ballpark as we return to action in downtown London on this Wednesday night. Majors trail by a score of 10-3. Less competition for autographs here on a night like this.
Oh, this is the time to be a fan.
Exactly.
I mean, besides the score. Has not gone the Majors' way.
Yeah, not ideal. But if you are looking for autographs, this is your chance because there are very few kids remaining at the ballpark. And so everybody around the Majors dugout will have a pretty easy lane to get some autographs from their favorite Majors.
Always one of the nice things about coming to the ballpark here in the Intercounty Baseball League. You almost get those big league vibes, right? Big stadium, music blaring, good baseball on the field. But the access to players, right? You get to go down there, chat with a lot of the guys after the game. A lot of the teams in the IBL, Majors included, open up the field. You can come on down, check it out, walk around the infield, talk to some players.
So Robert Mackey returns to the mound for the Majors. And an interesting change as Charles Bowman has taken over in center field for Drew Lawrence.
We kind of expected this, Dylan, moving forward for the Majors. Some changes defensively, guys getting at-bats.
Here's the first pitch on its way from Mackey. Outside corner, strike one. Charles Bowman joined the Majors last season. Did some catching. Now playing center field tonight. 0-1 on its way from Mackey. That's off the plate outside. 1-1.
Utility role, will play where he needs to. Fill in time to time, either behind the plate or, as we see today, out in center field.
1-1 on its way to Moretto. That's off the plate outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Some stretching down in the Majors bullpen as the count moves to 2-1 here. Throwing continues in the Welland bullpen. They are likely going to make a move. I would imagine if it's not next inning, it will be the one prior, as that one's fouled off and out of play.
Yeah, I think that we've seen the end of the night for Jake Harford. He's up over 100 pitches. I think he's at 106 after that last inning. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a new arm next inning for Welland.
Two ready here.
Offering on its way will miss, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Uh-oh, we've got an opposing team in the chat. No, the Welland Jackfish have joined our YouTube chat here on this Wednesday night. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Mackey on its way. Moretto pops that one high in the air. Kane McGee will give chase. DeOlio gives it a look. And that one's out of play, so we'll try again on 3-2.
Big hello to the Jackfish admin. Hopping into the chat.
Hello to fellow IBL broadcaster Spencer Tangway in the chat as well. Telling us we're doing a great job. Thank you, Spencer. We always enjoy listening to you guys in Welland as well. Robert Mackey trying to set down Steve Moretto here on a 3-2 count. That one fouled off. Got a piece of the umpire there, and I think the mask came right off.
Count will stay at 3-2, and Mackey now will get another chance to try and record the first out of the inning here. 3-2. He's been aggressive so far. We'll see if he comes right back at it.
3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Pitch from Mackey on its way, line straight back at the screen. It's a foul ball. Moretto continues to battle in the batter's box. 8 pitches so far. Man, oh man, these mosquitoes keep getting me, Noah.
It's funny. I don't seem to have them over here.
Well, lucky you.
Different area code over here, about 3 feet to the left.
3-2 on its way from Robert Mackey. That one fouled off. And we've got windows here. Like, we can close ourselves up, but also we can't because a lot of our cords run through the windows. So you say there's no mosquitoes. I see one on your back right now.
Those are just my friends.
Okay. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count here on Steve Moretto. Robert Mackey out there on the mound trying to record the first out of the top of the 7th inning. He works into the windup and delivers. That ball is driven to left center field. Starling Joseph working over to his left He comes up with this one, and there's one away.
Ball was hit pretty hard out to left field. We've seen that a few times so far tonight, Dylan, where balls that appeared to be hit harder just kind of die out there in the outfield. Of course, the night ball game here tonight at Labatt Park. Ball doesn't usually fly as much here at night. And perhaps getting knocked down a little bit. No wind really at field level here, but we do see from time to time that you get that ball kind of up above the trees and left. And the wind can knock it down a little bit as that one misses outside, 1-0.
The wind, or lack thereof, not posing a problem for Steve Moretto in his earlier plate appearance when he hit one out of the ballpark for a grand slam. 1-0 the count here on Hogan Brown. Pitch on its way. That one fouled off, and it's 1-1.
Dylan, looking ahead at the schedule for the Welland Jackfish, they are back home tomorrow against the Kitchener Panthers in what will be a big game for them. Two teams right around the top of the standings. Welland in first place, Kitchener in a tie for second.
Fouled off there by Brown, 1-2.
Friday night, they're in Hamilton. And then Saturday, they host the London Majors. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 straight ball games for the Welland Jackfish.
That is rare in the IBL.
It is. We talk about busy schedules. Rare to see a 4-4. Of course, this one not originally on the schedule, rescheduled due to the rainout.
Swing and a foul ball there from Hogan Brown, so he stays alive in the batter's box, 1-2. Now, I'm guessing the Majors would have liked to have scheduled this game for yesterday, but the park was unavailable due to movie filming at Labatt Park. Couldn't bump that, so here we are tonight, and now the Jackfish are stuck playing 4 in a row. 1-2, that skips in. DeOlio blocked the bulk of that one as it skips towards the mound. 2-2.
Benefit to that schedule, of course, for Welland is that aside from tonight in London, it's 2 home games, the Thursday and the Saturday, and Friday night is a fairly short drive over to Hamilton.
Yes.
So although you are playing a lot of baseball, it's not like there's a whole lot of big trips thrown in there. London, of course, the longest on that stretch.
Brown ready in the batter's box. Mackey ready out there on the mound. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. We'll try once again with 2 strikes. Mackey has thrown 44 pitches through an inning and a third. There is a young fan here at Labatt Park, Noah, sticking around despite the fact that we're getting later and later, and he is making his presence known. Very vocal tonight as that one's fouled off by Hogan Brown.
What a battle going at the plate as well here.
Second straight battle that Mackey has faced in this inning. He's already thrown 17 pitches.
Yeah, that hurts the pitch count.
He's only faced 2 batters. No fault of his own.
Yeah, makes up for it if you can get the outs, and he'll look for a second one here.
2-2 on its way. Inside to Brown, 3-2. Mackey's been in around the strike zone, but Brown is fighting him off, and then when he misses like that, Brown's not chasing. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Hogan Brown looks out at Robert Mackey from the left-hand batter's box as Mackey gets the sign from Eduardo DeOlio and goes into the wind-up with the 3-2 off the plate outside. It's ball 4.
So the walk will put the runner aboard here with 1 gone in the inning.
Ethan Hunt will step into the batter's box for the Welland Jackfish. 1 for 3 on the day. A single, a pop out, and a double play. That single plated 2 back in the top of the second inning. Mackey peeks over at first base and comes set. That's off the plate outside, 1-0.
Not a very big lead over at first base. Don't think the Fish are going to be running here with 1 gone in the inning.
7-run ball game as well. We'll see. Here's the pitch, up and in on Hunt, and it's 2-0.
Never been afraid to run. You know what? There's a conversation that can be had about that, but at the end of the day, the Intercounty Baseball League, it's a wild card, Dylan. You can be in a 7-run lead, and that can change in an instant.
That wasn't to say they shouldn't run. It was just, they may not be pushing as hard in a game where they lead 7-0. I'm not an unwritten rules kind of guy, as that one is outside and it will skip all the way to the backstop. A wild pitch there from Robert Mackey allows Hogan Brown to move up.
Well, the Majors have been doing that all night long as well, so no point in trying to get yourself thrown out at second. Ends up there anyways. On a count, that now moves to 3-0.
Good hitters count here for Ethan Hunt. No action in the Majors bullpen, although somebody may just be getting up. Looks like Braden Farrington, we are told. 3-0 on its way, ball 4 from Robert Mackey, and he has issued his second free pass of the inning. This one on just 4 pitches, which will put 2 runners on with 1 away, and Chris Ruiz, the third baseman, will head out to the mound.
Yeah, no movement from the Majors bench area. Brent Wales or Roop Chainer dat, but here's a look down on our 519 Jersey Auctions mobile camera. Braden Farrington gets loose. I imagine that means we'll get to see him at some point. That could be sooner rather than later, depending on how this inning goes.
I think in a perfect world, Majors manager Roop Chainer uses Braden Farrington for the 8th and 9th. Maybe just 1 inning, but he may be needed here in the 7th. Mackey up at 51 pitches through an inning and a third.
Welcome those who might be joining us after the conclusion of the Toronto Blue Jays game. San Diego, a 2-0 win over Toronto. That'll hurt the Blue Jays a little bit.
Well, you know what? Just going into some Blue Jays conversation here. The AL East has struggled this week, and the Blue Jays, a chance to pick up some ball games on their opponents like the Orioles and the Rays. The Orioles won today, but did lose the previous 2 to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tampa Bay lost again today as that one misses to Dupuis. Majors had a chance to gain some ground. The Blue Jays had a chance to gain some ground, and they haven't so far against the Padres.
Another chance tomorrow before they head out west. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be one of those real tight finishes, right? The finish line is going to be there for probably 5 or 6 wildcard teams.
On the ground at third base, Dupuis, tough play for Chris Ruiz. Took a funny hop on him, and Ruiz, of course, normally a catcher, was able to stop that one and touch the bag, but couldn't get any more.
Well, great job to stick with that, too. Gets the first out, the most important one, in the lead runner at third. And now Mateo Porcelado will come to the plate, and keep your eyes peeled on the screen for the next couple minutes here, as he has had himself a ball game.
Mateo Porcelado is 4 for 4. He will look for his 5th hit of the ball game, one that could drive home a run, as that one sails on Mackey, and it's 1-0.
Four for 4, and I think looking back, Dylan, 3 of those hits were rocketed off the bat. Flared one his last time around, but a hit's a hit.
Box score doesn't care how hard you hit it. Here's the offering to Porcelado. Misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Brandon Underhill was warming up earlier for the Jackfish. Looks like, to me, it's still him warming up in the bullpen, though it is hard to see from here. Coming set on the mound is Mackey. Here's the pitch. That one belted to center field. Bowman gets back on that one and makes the grab. So for the first time tonight, Mateo Porcelado is retired. And that'll do it for the top of the 7th. It's stretch time at Labatt Park. The Majors trail by 7.
The 7th inning stretch, one of the best times of the ball game, because we get to get up and we get to stretch it out.
We sure do, Noah.
As do the fans in attendance here. And, of course, our fans watching at home on YouTube. Get off the couch.
Yeah, we hope you're getting up. We'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that the Majors are on a variety of social media platforms. Those include TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and right here on YouTube at London Majors, as well as Threads, which was very popular for a few days and has since died down a little bit, I think.
Well, let's chat about that. Is Threads going to be a thing moving forward?
I don't know.
It got out of the gate real hot, but any app is going to do that right nowadays.
Yeah. Well, not any app.
I saw a comparison about most downloaded apps in a certain amount of time and how Threads was up there. But listen, when Instagram, an affiliated app, comes out with Instagram and Facebook, you're going to have a large amount of user base right off the bat.
Yes. Yes, you will.
Head start for Threads. I'll be honest with you, I don't use it right now. It hasn't picked up enough steam to warrant me picking up yet another social media network.
Twitter would have to deteriorate further
yeah.
for people to start going on Threads more, I think. That's just my view on it.
Well, let us know. Let us know in the chat if you're following along. Are you Team Threads? Do you believe in Team Threads? Or are we Twitter all the way?
The Majors are on Twitter, and I think, and the Welland Jackfish are in the chat so they can correct me, I think the Welland Jackfish are on Threads as well. So what's your stance? Let us know. Do you care at all?
Spencer says he has never heard of Threads.
Spencer, you've
somehow
never heard of Threads?
But that somehow doesn't surprise me.
Really?
Spencer's a busy guy.
He is, that's true.
He's got a lot going on. Can't keep up on everything going on in the world. I'll give him a pass this time around.
Threads, took the world by storm for about 24 hours and has since, kind of faded into the background just a little bit. We'll see if it makes a reemergence as Jake Harford's night is done on the mound. It'll be Brandon Underhill coming in for the Welland Jackfish to take over for their starter. Underhill, native of Niagara Falls, Ontario, playing in his third season with the Jackfish.
Dylan, he's been warming up since, I want to say probably the fourth or fifth inning.
Yeah.
Lightly here and there. And then, ever since that home run from DeOlio has kind of been on watch. But they let Harford go. He got him to this point, but in the bottom of the seventh inning, it will be Brandon Underhill to the mound. In the season so far, 2-0 record for him in 11 games, all out of the bullpen. 20 and a third innings pitched, and has fared well so far.
Charles Bowman hits that one on the ground in the hole. Great stop by James Smybert, but was unable to get much on the throw. Charles Bowman took the first pitch he saw into the hole between shortstop and third, and Smybert kept it away from the outfield but couldn't get a throw off in time.
Major's third hit of the ball game. Two of those coming off the bench now.
Bowman on at first base. Here's the pitch. Misses high for ball one to Tommy Reyes-Cruz, who's 0 for 2. One-0 count. Here's the pitch. Off the plate outside. 2 balls and no strikes. That one misses, so Reyes-Cruz in a hitter's count here at 3-0. A little bit of movement in the Jackfish bullpen.
Yeah, they continue on with the movement, and at this point here, it'll be a fairly long leash, I would imagine, for each of their guys, but they don't want to let things get out of hand, as that one is across them at the count to 3-1.
Reyes-Cruz in a hitter's count. He's in control here. Looking to take advantage. That's off the plate outside. Ball 4, so 2 runners on now with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Oh, don't look now. The Majors once again have something going here. This time in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the man who's brought home the only 3 runs for London this evening will come to the plate.
So Eduardo DeOlio steps into the batter's box, had a 3-run homer earlier on. 2 runners on here in this trip as that one misses for ball 1.
DeOlio's home run earlier on in the ballgame for London was their first hit of the contest. 1 more here in the 7th. Total of 3 so far. And a healthy cut there.
Was looking for the second 3-run homer of the ballgame was DeOlio. Came up empty on that swing. Calls time. Did not leave anything on the table with that swing. Coming set on the mound is Underhill. DeOlio ready in the box. Here's the pitch on the ground. Third base, going to be a tough play. It is a fair ball, says home plate umpire Jeff Rose. And they just do get Charles Bowman at third base.
That was a tough play. That ball just barely stayed fair. And they were able to get the force out at third. DeOlio missed the swing on that one. I didn't get a whole lot on it. I floated it out towards left, and now the Majors will swap spots on the bases. Still first and second, now one out for Starling Joseph.
As you mentioned, Noah, 2 on, 1 away. Starling Joseph steps into the batter's box. Majors running out of time to mount the already improbable comeback. They trail by 7 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch from Underhill. Breaking ball that drops in there for a strike on Joseph, 0-1.
Joseph was looking all the way on that one as soon as he saw the breaking ball out of the hand. Now he's seen it once. If it comes again, I bet you'll take a healthy rip at it.
Here's the 0-1. That one misses. 1-1.
Came inside on that one, was unable to get the corner. Just missing off the inside edge. Joseph now in a 1-1 count.
Here's the 1-1. That's off the plate outside. 2-1.
A lot of dancing going on there by Reyes Cruz at second base.
Trying to draw the attention of Underhill.
Has so far, hasn't got him to flinch or anything like that. Has thrown 2 straight wide ones.
That one will miss. 3-1.
And if Reyes Cruz believes that it's working in the Majors' favor, he might keep doing it out there. 3-1 here. Joseph will be in a good hitter scout. We'll see if he gets one to hit.
3 balls, 1 strike, 1 away to Starling Joseph, the cleanup hitter in this Majors order. Underhill comes set out there on the mound. Offering on its way, Joseph rips that one in the hole into left field. Reyes Cruz charging hard for third. He gets the stop sign put up there. And the bases are loaded with 1 away.
Wow, and this is what we touched on for the Majors. You just keep on chipping away and trying to find yourself into a good spot. And now the bases are loaded with 1 away. And Will Pollard will come to the plate. Pollard ripped one his last time, coming off the bench as a replacement in the outfield. Single his first time around, and now he'll come up with the bases loaded.
Here's the pitch to Pollard. In there for a strike.
If you include the hit earlier today, 5, I believe, on the season for Will Pollard. One of those being an extra base hit, a double. And limited time off the bench.
Big spot here. The 0-1. That one misses. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Here's the pitch. Pollard skies that one. Foul territory. Martinez going back to the screen. That one hits above us here. 1-2.
1-2 count here on Pollard. Well up here. The young Jackfish arm. We'll see if he can find a way to put away the Majors outfielder.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 1 out. Cleveland Brownlee waits on deck. Majors trail by 7. Pollard skies that one, and it is well foul.
Porcelano gave that one a run into foul territory, but that one got over the Fence down the left field line by about 40 or 50 feet. Count stays at 1-2. Underhill being forced to work here in this inning. Although with the force, ground ball away from working out of the jam.
Here's the pitch. That is up high. Good take there by Will Pollard, 2-2.
Big 2-2 here. Let's see what Underhill comes with.
Breaking ball. Pollard able to hold up, but it remains, it moves to 3-2, I should say.
Now full count, and once again, the Majors and Pollard should look here for something over the plate. I don't think Underhill's going to want to miss.
3-2, one away. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3. Pollard goes down looking at a breaking ball, and that's a huge second out.
And a perfect location from Underhill. Comes with the breaking ball inside portion of the plate and catches the inside portion of the plate for a big second out. But he's got a big bat to face here to work through the inning.
A big bat that is looking to make an impact. Cleveland Brownlee steps into the batter's box, and he comes into this at-bat 0 for 3 on the day. Brownlee in his 3 trips, grounded out, popped out, and struck out looking.
Crowd that is stuck around here, a small one on this rare Wednesday night contest, is coming to life a little bit here as that one misses outside. Brownlee at the plate, bases loaded, 2 gone.
Brownlee looks out as Underhill looks in. Here's the pitch. Fouled off, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Bases loaded for the Majors. They trail by 7. Brownlee trying to chip away at that deficit. Here's the pitch. Fouled off, it's 1-2.
Brownlee was able to get a piece of that one, but he was out in front of the curveball and just had to fight it off. A lot of soft stuff here in this at-bat to Cleveland Brownlee. Didn't want to give him a fastball left over the plate. We'll see if they change that here on 1-2. Maybe climb the ladder, see if they can get him to chase.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Underhill looking to strand the bases loaded. He comes set out there on the mound. Here's the pitch. Off the plate outside, 2-2.
Close pitch, but a good take. Great eyes by Cleve. Underhill right back onto the mound and ready to work on 2-2.
2's on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here's the pitch to Cleveland Brownlee. Gets a piece and fouls it straight back. We'll try once more on 2-2.
Just trying to battle here. And we saw a healthy dose of breaking balls early in the count. The last 2 have been fastballs. I think instead of coming with a 3rd straight fastball, they might go back to the breaking ball. But we'll wait and see.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Cleveland Brownlee awaits the next offering from Brandon Underhill. That one line straight back up the middle. It'll get through for a base hit. Around third, getting the wave is DeOlio. Joseph on his way to third base. He's getting the wave home. The throw from Smybert is there in time to get Starling Joseph. The Majors score 2, but can't score a third as Joseph gets tagged out and is slow to get up. He does so with the assistance of Jackfish catcher Carlos Martinez as he limps off. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching the Majors and Jackfish on MajorsTV.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Park for the top of the 8th inning as a new arm enters the ball game for the Majors. Noah Braden Farrington takes over on the rubber.
And it'll be Braden Farrington, as you mentioned, coming into the ball game for London. 12 games for him out of the bullpen so far, but has not been able to find the stuff that got him into such great relief pitcher talks over the last couple of seasons. At least to start the season for him, 14 innings pitched, has struck out 9, walked 5, but has given up 19 hits in the ERA, just sitting slightly over 7 at this point. But he'll come in here and try to keep this ball game where it is. The Majors have battled in this ball game. The late going here has finally found their way into the hit column. More importantly, finally found their way on to the scoreboard. And a 10-5 ball game as we head to the 8th.
Pinch hitter coming in for the Welland Jackfish, taking over for Gio Morello tonight. Trying to get you who that is here. It is McCoy Pierce into the ball game. McCoy Pierce, who was the hottest hitter in the IBL for a little bit of time, not too long ago, as that one is in there for a strike from Farrington.
Comes in a pinch hit spot here, pardon me. The Jackfish now using this opportunity to get some players into the ball game as well, as that one misses outside.
Farrington, like you mentioned, Noah, trying to keep this ball game right where it is. Still unlikely, even though the Majors only trail by 5, that they come back, but it's important to keep it close as that one's on the ground to Reyes Cruz, and the throw pulls McGee off the bag at first, unable to get McCoy Pierce with the swipe tag, and he reaches.
Had to be quick there. McCoy Pierce was quick getting down the line, and the throw a little bit rushed from shortstop. Pulled the first baseman off the bag. There'll be an error charged, and Jackfish have the leadoff man aboard here in the 8th.
So Carlos Martinez steps into the batter's box for Welland, 1 for 4 on the day. Pierce with a very small lead over at first base. Swing and a miss there for Martinez, 0-1.
Farrington here now working from the stretch after the leadoff runner allowed to reach.
That one blocked there by DeOlio on a pitch in the dirt, 1-1. One ball, one strike. Pierce, a small lead over at first base, offering on its way from Farrington. Martinez sends that one to left field. Starling Joseph makes a backhanded grab, and there's one gone here in the top of the 8th.
Well, a good piece of hitting there, and just didn't get enough loft underneath it. That ball dies out over left field. Catch made, there's one gone.
So James Smybert into the batter's box for the Welland Jackfish. 1 for 2 on the day. A strikeout, a single, and 2 walks sprinkled in. Here's the offering. Smybert takes that one for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Farrington delivers. Breaking ball drops in there for strike one.
Yeah, he's able to get the count to 1-1 and even things up. Farrington from time to time can be a strikeout guy, but will often pitch to weak contact, try and get those flyouts, those groundouts. Use the defense behind him.
2 balls, 1 strike is the count. And McCoy Pierce has been sent to second base. I think there's a balk called. That's
Farrington
my best
now,
guess.
yeah, he's going to chat things over with DeOlio. Missed it up here in the booth, but no real argument from Farrington. And he'll take some time behind the mound to gather himself here. I believe the count is 2-1.
No, 1 ball, 1 strike, no pitch ruled on the previous offering because of the balk call. That ball is smashed into foul territory by James Smybert. 1-2 now.
Ball gets away from Farrington there. Steve Cochran behind the mound, the umpire. And now they're going to have a quick conversation and swap their positioning. The runner at second base.
Chris Walters will take over around where Steve Cochran was. Little umpire switch in terms of positioning there. So the pitch did count. 2-2 as that one is smoked foul. We'll try it once more.
Good feeling over there at first base on that one. That just hooked foul by about a foot. Keeps the runner at second. Count stays at 2-2. We'll redo the pitch.
Still trying to figure out the balk that allowed McCoy Pierce to get to second base. Here's the pitch. Smybert hooks this one foul once again. Nearly a nice catch by somebody in the Jackfish bullpen.
Came running off the bench to try and track that one down. Once again, we'll do another 2-2 here.
Oh, you know what it was? Eduardo DeOlio played the baseball with his mask. It was not a balk as that one misses, 3-2. DeOlio pushed the ball to himself, the pitch that was in the dirt. He moved it towards himself with the mask, and you can't do that.
No, we've seen that. Well, not here with the London Majors before, but recently.
That one on the ground towards second base. In comes Battelle on the run throw. Nice play to record the out at first base for the second out. And I was wondering because home plate umpire Jeff Rose pointed at DeOlio and then told the runner to move up, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Thought maybe it was a catcher's balk, but DeOlio was set up in the box. So it was, in fact, him playing the ball with his mask, which is against the rules. And you mentioned it. I think it was in Major League Baseball sometime recently that we saw this, and it was very strange. That's the only reason that I knew this was the call here. Here's the pitch. In the air, center field and shallow. That'll drop in, which will allow McCoy Pierce to come in to score. And it's 11-5, Welland.
Well, the Jackfish just keep on keeping on with their 11th run of the ball game. That one will put the lead back up to 6. The Majors keep on fighting back, but the Jackfish just keep on clawing up a little bit more at a time.
Welland is relentless with that offense. That's why they're averaging 8.9 runs per game this season. Farrington works to Steve Moretto, who fouls that one off, 0-1.
2 outs here in the inning as Farrington looks to work through and get the Majors to the bats in the bottom of the 8th.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Farrington sets. Here's the pitch. In there, 0-2.
Getting up way up here in the count. He's got a lot to work with here, a few different options he can go to. try and find a way to get the final out of the inning.
Here's the offering.
Just inside.
Oh, very close. One ball, 2 strikes from Braden Farrington. Cocker stands over at first. Here's the pitch. In the air, not overly deep, into shallow left field. Out goes Reyes Cruz, and he makes an impressive running catch to retire the side. So we are through 7.5 here at Labatt Park. Majors trail 11-5.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Majors trail 11-5, as you mentioned. They're trying to get on the offense. They'll do their 50-50 draw down on field level right now, Dylan.
Did you buy a ticket, Noah?
I did not. Never do. They never come up here and offer, to be fair.
That's true. That's
to
true.
be fair, I don't think I've ever been offered.
Well, if somebody who helps run the 50-50 ticket draw at Labatt Park is listening, come on by one game.
Come on by. I don't think they're listening, but
No.
if they listen back to this.
To this exact moment.
Yeah, we welcome those as well who've been tuning in all night long. Thank you for being a part of our evening here on this Wednesday night from London. A lot of healthy debates going on tonight in the chat, Dylan. It has been an active night in the YouTube chat.
Sure has been.
Dylan, I see some fans that were asking some of the favorite ballparks around the IBL. You and I have had the chance, so you look back to 2019. We got to travel to some games to call and broadcast games. Do you have a favorite? What's your favorite ballpark?
So am I allowed to pick Labatt Park?
You can't pick London.
All
That's
right,
my
Welland.
only catalyst.
Welland, easy, layup, slam dunk, Welland. I love Welland.
And that's, keep in mind, we haven't got a chance to go since some of the renovations they've done over the last couple of years. So Welland is a fantastic facility. There's a couple other. I enjoyed my time in Barrie.
Yeah, Barrie's nice. I haven't been to Barrie.
The cell reception wasn't great, but aside from that, the ballpark was good. The Jackfish have, the Baycats have some good history there.
Speaking from my personal experience, I've only been to Kitchener, Welland, and London, so I can't really make any comments on other ballparks. But Welland, I mean, I was impressed with what I saw when I was there.
My favorite part about the intercounty baseball, in all baseball leagues for that matter, each ballpark has their own quirks. They have their little things that make them special, little history notes along the way. And that doesn't stop here with Labatt Memorial Park. And we do see in the chat as well a lot of renovations to Labatt Park over the offseason as well. $2 million of funds put towards by the city, the government, to help renovate Labatt Park. New washrooms on both the first base and third base side to bring them up to 2023 standards. They replaced all the wood down the lines in the grandstands, both the third base and first base side. And Dylan, the one thing they didn't get to this offseason that will happen, I believe, earmarked for this fall, is the replacement of all the field lighting to kind of bring that up to standard as well.
Yes, they will be putting LED lights into the ballpark. That is the plan. As of right now, was supposed to happen this year. If you'll recall, the Majors had their first few home games scheduled for the afternoon on Saturday and Sundays in May and early June. That was to allow time for the lights to come in. They never did. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet, they took out all the wood behind the plate in the first 3 rows of seats right behind the plate and replaced it with metal back there because the wood was growing old.
Same thing they did down the lines as well. Replaced that on the walkway portion towards the lines. So a lot of renovations done here at Labatt Park that will continue on as well.
New arm into the ball game for the Welland Jackfish. That is Casey Howard taking over, native of Brantford, Ontario. Here's the pitch to Kane McGee, fouled off for strike 1.
And McGee will try to get things started here for the London Majors. William Howard into his 10th appearance of the season out of the bullpen for the Jackfish. 9 2/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts to go along with that. And we'll look to try and, I would imagine, Dylan, he'll look to try and finish off this ball game for Welland.
I think that's what they're going to be looking for out of there. Righty coming into the ball game, 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Our colleague Eric Collins, the public address announcer, telling us he's a public school teacher, Casey Howard. Did not know that. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one is in the air, center field. Catches made out there in center. Not sure if McCoy Pierce stayed in the ball game in center field or if somebody took over. But there is a catch made out there for the first out.
The IBL, the Working Man's League, Dylan. A lot of the players out here, got their day jobs they work too. Employers allowing them to get off early when they got to come on the road to games like this.
Noah, do you remember last year, I think it was, in the chat where we had a couple of fans come into our YouTube chat who had never heard of the IBL before, just came across because it was baseball, and they were shocked to find out this is a working man's league. They have full-time jobs outside of this, plus they play a great caliber of baseball like we've seen every Friday this season, and here once again tonight. Chris Ruiz into the batter's box, takes that one off the plate outside for ball one.
Well, I mean, you look back at some of the big moments in the Intercounty Baseball League. If you just want to even put that down to a smaller sample size, here in London over the last few years, those championships, guys started that day at work, right? They start that day at their normal 9 to 5, maybe get off a little bit early, and then they head on down to the ballpark to try and win a championship.
2 balls, no strikes here to Chris Ruiz. Somebody in the chat mentioning the Osprey when they changed the lights. I'm very curious to see what happens there. At Dan Pullum Field in North London, they've replaced the lights there recently, but there is still one light tower that is standing as Ruiz pops that one high in the air. Behind the second base bag, Dupuis nearly overran it, tracks that one down and falls down as well, but he reins that one in for the second out. Just back to the Dan Pullum Field story. Bunch of new light towers. One remains, doesn't have any functioning lights, but there is a nest that you can see up there. And I think that's what they might end up doing here.
Well, Dylan, if a lot of fans didn't know, next time you come to Labatt Park, take a stroll over to the third base side by third base concession, and then stare out to the parking lot, to the back corner of the Labatt Park parking lot. There is a tall tower out there with what looks to be a platform. Well, that's because they have previously tried to relocate the Osprey, and the Osprey did not like his new home. The Osprey liked it much better atop of the light tower. So I can only imagine that when they get up to do the work here in the fall, that they might run into something similar.
1 ball, no strikes here to Dan Patel. That one misses. 2 balls and no strikes.
2-0 here as they Jackfish now with a couple of outs here in the inning, looking to try and work through the 8th.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there from Patel. 2-1.
Patel looking to try and get something started here for the Majors. Now the Majors just trying to find ways to get at-bats in here in the final stages.
Here is the 2-1. Cut on and missed there by Patel. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Patel ready in the batter's box. He looks out there to the mound. Howard comes set. 2-2 offering on its way. That one misses. Looked to be a little bit high, maybe 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2 up in the zone. Didn't get him to chase, and now we'll have to come back at it here and see if they can get the final out here of the inning.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Patel high in the air. Shallow left field. Porcelato coming in. He is camped under it, and he will make the catch to retire the side here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're through 8 complete. Off to the 9th at Labatt Park. Welland leads 11-5.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Park for the 9th inning, and some interesting changes here for the Majors, Noah. Brett Graham will take over at shortstop for London, and Tommy Reyes-Cruz has gone in to pitch. And what this means is the Majors are forfeiting the designated hitter position in the batting order. Reyes-Cruz stays in his normal spot, and Brett Graham will take over for Cleveland Brownlee. I believe that's how that works. Brownlee, the DH.
He will come into the DH spot, and then as soon as the DH comes in, or pardon me, to pitch, it's a whole rigmarole. That's what's happening. That's what's going on.
We're probably not going to get into it tonight just because we're so late in the ball game already.
Listen, we're exhausted.
We are. Oh man. Welland Jackfish are asking if we're making the trip on Saturday to Welland. I am not. I got to coach my brother's baseball team in a tournament this weekend, so I will not be.
Listen, if you didn't think I love baseball enough to be here all the time, I play on my own too. And my team's got a couple of games on Saturday. So the broadcasters will not be on the trip. I think a couple of our media team will be there to take in the sights and sounds of the pond.
Always a good time in Welland. They have a lot of fun.
I loved my trips there back. 2019 was actually the last time I went. So like I said, haven't got a chance to see any of the additions that were done since then.
I was there twice, one in the regular season with you, one in the playoffs on my own. Both times, a lot of fun. Tommy Reyes-Cruz will work to Hogan Brown, and the first pitch Brown sees, he laces down the right field line for extra bases. He's around first, digging for second, and that's where he'll stop. So it's a leadoff double for Hogan Brown.
That's a good way to lead off the inning there for the Jackfish, taking advantage of the fastball over the plate, ripping it for a double down the line.
James Edwards telling us in the chat that Ethan Hunt is in right field, McCoy Pierce to first base, Hogan Brown to center field, and Steve Moretto to third base. So that's all the Jackfish changes. I didn't think it was McCoy Pierce in center field when that fly ball was reined in last inning, and now that has been proven. So thank you to James for that information.
Thank you, James. It takes a village to do this job.
I
tell you.
It really does.
We get the help anywhere we can take it.
So that will bring up Ethan Hunt, and the first pitch is going to miss high for ball one. One-0 will miss. 2 balls and no strikes.
Reyes-Cruz does look fairly comfortable out there on the hill.
Well, a lot of these guys have probably pitched in
the
Little League and stuff. Reyes-Cruz, a young guy, not fresh out of Little League, but listen, he's probably pitched pretty recently.
We'll have to see if we can track him down after the game and see when the last time he pitched was.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting question. That one is fouled off, and it's 2-1. Plus, you never know what these guys may have done with their previous teams, right? Reyes-Cruz in his first season with the Majors, he may have been a pitcher as well last year.
Yep. We try to dig as much up on these guys as we can, but information limited in some cases.
2-1 on its way. That finds the outside corner. It's 2-2.
Sure spins that curveball like he's done it before. 2-2.
Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Offering on its way from Reyes-Cruz. That's in the air to right field. Moving back on it there is Pollard. Tagging from second base is Hogan Brown. Pretty strong throw from Will Pollard. But coming from right field, no shot.
Yeah, he was able to get the throw in, but I don't think there was anything that was going to get to third base in time. Moves the runner up with 1 gone here. Todd Devlin from Game Day London, he texts me throughout the course of broadcasts all the time. Little tidbits, and he actually wanted me to remember back in 2021 when Byron Reichstein won the MVP. He worked that night, right? He went and worked an overnight shift doing deliveries that evening.
On the ground to second base, bobbled by Battelle. He'll get it over to Kane McGee, allowing a run to score. But yes, Byron Reichstein, for those who may not know, 1 playoff MVP. Hitting a home run really to win that game for the Majors in Game 5 against Toronto, and then had to work that night which is such an IBL story.
Yeah, I think his, if I remember the story correctly, it was his uncle or something who was his manager or something like that, and he said, hey, I need just like an hour delay starting my shift because I'm probably going to be at Labatt Park fairly late no matter how this game goes.
That one misses inside to Matteo Porcelato.
He didn't get to celebrate very long. I remember he had to be at work by, I think, 1 or 2 a.m. Couple hours of partying maybe.
1-0 fouled off, 1-1. Porcelato looking for hit number 5 in the ball game. He is 4 for 5 on the day. In his 6th plate appearance here. Only time he was retired was the last time he came to the plate. Lined out to center. Did he go? No, says third base umpire Steve Cochran, so it's 2-1.
Yeah, even the time he was retired, he hit the ball hard out to center. As he looks for that 5th hit of the ball game.
2-1 on its way. Porcelato takes that one in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the offering from Reyes Cruz. Porcelato fouls that one off, and the count runs full now at 3-2.
3-2 with 2 gone here as Reyes Cruz tries to work through the top of the 9th.
Tommy Reyes Cruz sets. Here's the 3-2 pitch in the air, foul territory. That one slicing, and it will get out of play into the tree out there in left field. So full count to Matteo Porcelato. We'll try it once again. Pitch on its way from Reyes Cruz. That is up high for ball 4. So Matteo Porcelato works a walk. He's on base for the 5th time today. And the Jackfish have a 2-out base runner.
Still a good night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Statistically. 5th time aboard. 4 for 5 with a walk. He'll take that. It's a good day at the ballpark.
So that'll bring up McCoy Pierce, who we discovered is now at first base. Moretto to third. Brown to center and Hunt to right. All the changes in case you missed them. That one is going to miss for, pardon me, called a strike. Yeah, I believe on the swing by the first base umpire. Is that what the call was?
Yeah, called a strike there. Little check swing. Might have even caught a little bit of the zone.
0-1 from Reyes Cruz. Pierce sends that one in the air to center field. Charles Bowman is under it. He makes the catch. Tommy Reyes Cruz was halfway off the field when that ball reached its apex in the air. And that will do it for the top of the 9th inning. So the Majors trail by 7 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning, and they face a large deficit as they try to complete an improbable comeback. We'll see if they're able to do it. It certainly will not be easy.
Dylan, a reminder to our viewers, our next broadcast, the Majors' next home game, comes Friday night from Labatt Park. So 7:35 first pitch as the Barrie Baycats are in town.
Barrie Baycats come to town, I believe, for the 2nd time this season, Noah?
Yep, I think so.
2nd trip for Barrie this year. Last one was on Father's Day here at Labatt Park. Always a good time when Barrie's in town. You can always expect a pretty close game, and the Barrie Baycats off to a great start once again this season. So should be a good one on Friday night. We hope you'll join us. We've had a lot of people out here in the YouTube chat tonight, a lot of people watching from home, and we're glad you're with us today. It's not often we get to spend a Wednesday night at the ballpark. I said it early on. Not often we get to be here on a Wednesday night, and we are so happy. Looks like a new arm coming into the ball game for the Welland Jackfish. Scott Gillespie into the game.
Coming and try and close things out here for the Jackfish.
Gillespie, native of Sherwood Park, Alberta. 9 games this year.
Yeah, 9 games, Dylan. He's kind of mixed things up. Has started 6 of those contests, but will come in for what will be his 4th relief appearance of the season. Majors down to their final 3 outs here this evening. They'll look to try and get anything going, but down by 7. It'll be tough.
Yeah, not going to be an easy comeback right now for the Majors. Trailing by 7. They'll have Charles Bowman to lead things off. It's the top of the order, but this is an order that's seen a few changes throughout the ball game. It'll be Bowman, Reyes, Cruz, and DeOlio. Bowman took over for Drew Lawrence. And then Reyes, Cruz, and DeOlio have been in the ball game all game long. And a pinch hitter, it looks like, for Charles Bowman. It is Noah Williams coming into the ball game. Big left-handed hitter for the Majors.
Yeah, we'll come in today and see if he can kickstart anything for the Majors here in the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be just his 3rd at-bat of the season. Pinch hitter both times.
I believe he has popped out in his previous 2 at-bats. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike from Gillespie. 0-1.
A local left-hand bat here. Has some pop here.
That one inside, 1-1.
Dylan, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe another one of those players with the Junior Tomcats.
He might be.
Had played in the Badgers organization.
I did know that. That I can confirm. Was a member of the Badgers as recently as last year with the 18U ball club. 1-1 to Williams. Gillespie from the windup. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. No, it's our first time seeing Scott Gillespie at Labatt Park this year. And one thing I'm noticing, he's got some pretty good velocity
he
out
can
there.
Bring it. He's got a lot on that fastball, a lot of life.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The offering to Williams on its way. That will miss. It's 2-2. Williams ready in the batter's box. Gillespie into the windup. Here's the 2-2 on its way. Fouled off by Williams. And we'll try it again on 2-2.
Williams playing college ball down south at the University of Jamestown.
Into the windup goes Gillespie. Here's the pitch. Williams chops that one on the ground to shortstop. Smybert throws to first, and it's in time to get Williams. Majors dugout thought he had beat it out, but first base umpire Chris Walters says no dice.
Well, and that was a bang-bang play at first base that if this wasn't a 12-5 game in the bottom of the 9th inning, maybe could have gone the other way for Noah Williams.
Maybe. Williams looking for his first IBL hit, and
part of the reason the Majors bench was up a little bit there with the ball game being where it was. They wanted to see him get his first hit, an infield one to boot if he would have beat it out.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss to Tommy Reyes Cruz, excuse me. 0-1.
The pitcher in the ball game now.
The pitcher. Tommy Reyes Cruz, the man on the mound. Scott Gillespie looks in for the sign there from Carlos Martinez. Here's the offering on its way. In there for a strike, 0-2.
He's falling behind in the count, 0-2 now. So he looks for one to hit.
Here is the 0-2. Reyes Cruz pops that one up high in the air. Moving over is Hogan Brown, the center fielder. got him for the second out. Two gone, and Eduardo Deolio will step into the batter's box for the Majors. Deolio is 1 for 4, that one being the biggest blow of the ball game for the Majors. A 3-run home run to right field when Oppo Taco in his return to the lineup.
A welcome return for the London Majors today. The power bat.
Deolio hit that one hard, but straight back at the screen, 0-1.
Oh, it was ripped back to the screen, just missed it. That boy getting a big round of applause here from the fans that have stuck it out.
He has been getting that round of applause all night long. The fans are not missing a beat when he is in action. 0-1 the count from Gillespie. Battle of the number 26s. Swing and a miss by Deolio, and it's 0-2.
And now the Fish looking to try and close it out here. 0-2 on Deolio.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Scott Gillespie looks in for the sign, and into the windup he goes. The 0-2 home swing and a miss, strike 3. So Gillespie records the final 3 outs here for the Welland Jackfish, and that will do it for this one here tonight at Labatt Park. A disappointing defeat for the London Majors at the hands of the Welland Jackfish today. It was a struggle from the jump for the Majors against Welland, allowing 1 run in the first inning, then 2 in the second. Edison Gonzalez left the ball game, and things just deteriorated from there for the London Majors. They will look to bounce back. They'll have plenty of chances to do so over the next few games, over the next few days, because of how much action they will have. But a disappointing loss tonight for the Majors, to be sure.
Yeah, disappointing loss for the Majors, but it's a fairly quick turnaround. They've got a big weekend up ahead, and they'll try to turn things around. The final score tonight, 12-5 here from Labatt Park.
Story tonight, I mean, nothing was going right for the Majors, really, Noah. I mean, you looked at it, the pitching was not great throughout the ball game. You look at the Grand Slam as one of those moments that the Majors would like to forget, and then the offense just simply was not there against Jackfish starter Jake Harford throughout the game, and the Majors fall short here on this Wednesday night. As mentioned, the Majors are back in action on Friday when the Barrie Baycats come to town here at